Welcome to Little Bracket of Horrors, the pod that puts the fight in fright.
Welcome to Little Bracket of Horrors. I'm Derek, and today we have a very, very special episode. It's a family affair today. But first, we have my beautiful wife, Carrie.
Hey. Hi.
And Carrie's joining us because why, Carrie?
Because this is one of my picks.
That's right. Carrie submitted Scream to us to cover, and we are forever indebted for that. But we have two more guests with us today. Back from the dead, we got Matt.
Hello, hello.
What's up, Matt?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm doing good.
Long time no see.
Yeah, no, I saw you last night.
Yes, you did.
I finally made it out to
I was
a gig.
surprised.
Yeah,
I was blown away. I was like, holy shit, Derek's here.
I know.
I think you've come to a very few, but
Yeah, not.
we were trying to think. I think the last one was the birthday?
The whole year ago?
Yeah, back in.
Wow.
Yeah, I know. That's
I
just
asked
like,
if
really?
you dedicated your whole set to Derek.
No, I never dedicated
Internally.
anything. Maybe.
Not internally?
No.
Oh, come on.
I dedicated to Dylan more than you.
Speaking of
'Cause he's my number one fan.
Dylan, we have another guest with us today. My oldest brother, Dylan. Dylan, say hi.
Hello, everyone.
Ooh, nice.
sultry.
Nice voice.
Is that a good radio voice?
Yeah, yeah.
Hello, everybody.
Hello, radio people.
Hi, my name's Dylan.
But yeah, we've been, this podcast has been going on for a couple years and been wanting to get Dylan on, even though he's not a horror fan, just to chew it up with us. So we figured it'd be fun for Scream.
You threw me off in the beginning with your selections of movies.
Of movies?
That'll do.
What?
Yeah.
I was on for the first 6 and then I backed off.
Okay,
I
so
was
you
like,
watched Henry,
Yeah.
and then you watched New York Ripper.
Yeah.
And then what did we do? Innkeepers?
Yeah.
I think was after Deborah Logan.
Deborah
You
Logan.
watched Deborah
You
Logan.
didn't like that one, huh?
You liked?
You didn't like Deborah
No,
Logan?
he
I
shit
didn't like
on
any
it.
of.
He
Oh,
gave,
yeah.
He gave us a Voices from
The first-
Beyond, and
and
he
then
shit
that-
on it.
The first
What's
year.
the-
Everyone loved it. He shit on it.
Stupid.
what was the Fantasia or whatever the heck?
Phantasm.
No, you're
That
right.
one.
Phantasm.
That was terrible.
Phantasm.
You didn't like
That
the
was
Tall
the
Man?
worst movie I've seen in forever.
Oh my gosh! Well, this will be this will be fun. But yeah, so Dylan is a new guest. So every time we have a new guest on the show, we like to ask a couple questions. So Dylan, are you ready?
Sure.
All right, here we go.
Hello, Dylan. Are you not going to respond to me?
Hello.
Good
Is
job.
that, is that what you want? I thought you were going to say something that.
Good manners, Dylan. I'll cut you like a fish. So, Dylan,
Yep.
what's the first horror movie you remember watching?
Well, the first one that I remember watching was when we were getting babysit. Down the street by Ernie.
Oh my gosh!
Back,
Okay.
Oh, shit.
back in Cranesville.
We should
Wow.
tell about the story.
That was a
Weirdest
horror
shit
story
ever.
enough as going to his house.
Going
But
to the
anyways,
house was fucking spooky. Yeah. It was creepy. And our mom dropped us off.
There was no real guidance.
No.
It's just like, okay, the kids can come down here kind of deal.
Yeah.
So I think down there I watched the Kiss movie.
Oh,
with
what
yeah,
is it?
Kiss.
It's called Kiss Meets the Phantom of the Park.
The Phantom of the Park.
That was
yes.
the first like horror movie that I watched.
It's got some
And
spooky imagery. It's Kiss. They're wearing like corpse makeup. So yeah, I could see.
Yeah. So that was probably it. And I guess it was pretty good because it didn't scare me too much.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It was
more
age
cheesy.
appropriate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just run around an amusement park and
Yeah.
I've never seen that movie before.
You've never seen? Well,
I think that
I've
was-
never seen it either, but I know of it.
so that's the first one that I remember seeing.
Never
All right.
even heard of it.
I've
Meets
never
the
heard.
Phantom of the Park.
There was a bunch of Kiss stuff. There was like Kiss cartoons. There was all this crazy stuff.
Enough of this tomfoolery. Dylan, next question. What's the scariest thing that's ever happened to you?
The scariest thing that's ever happened to me was it didn't necessarily happen to me. It happened to you.
Okay.
And it was when we were just doing dumb kid stuff. Back when we lived in Strattonville, we went over the hill and we're busting up the sections of the ice.
Oh,
on the
yeah,
pond.
yeah.
Strip mine, yeah.
You're out in the middle and you're floating and you fell off your little piece of ice there and we had to save you. And then we got in big trouble.
So I almost died.
Yeah. So that was
You had to
probably the
save me?
scariest thing.
Yeah.
That's
I feel
happened
like
to
I've
me.
almost died a couple times.
A
And you had to
couple
save me.
times.
You had to save me.
But that was the scariest thing that's happened to me.
Okay, so that's heartwarming. You had to save my life. That's a good story.
Getting way too sentimental in here. Let's switch it up. What would you rather be bitten by? A vampire, zombie, or a werewolf?
I saw this question. And I was like, this is, I don't know, a werewolf.
A werewolf?
Yeah.
Why?
Because a werewolf is definitely the cooler of all of them. Zombies just dumb to me.
Well,
Yeah.
zombies are
Okay,
stupid.
get that. Understandable.
You think
And-
a werewolf is cooler than a vampire?
Yeah.
You
I think
do?
a vampire should only go after girls.
What?
It's like classic. Because they never,
What's cooler than that?
they would kill the dudes and go
Uh-huh.
after the girls.
So you want him to also go after the dudes?
No, I don't.
get it.
I'm just looking classically. It was like, oh, the vampires go after the girls, kill the guys.
Okay.
So werewolf, if he bites you and you
Yeah.
and you want to buy into all
And
that,
they can also
then you
go after
become a
girls.
werewolf.
The problem
yeah.
with, yeah.
And
Go
it's
ahead.
definitely the cooler of the three to me.
Interesting.
I have a problem with werewolf because you're in such immense pain as you're
the transfer-
transforming.
yeah.
You're like, "Ugh," like your bones are cracking, your skin's stretching. A vampire, you're just sexy. You just walk around and, like you
No.
said,
Yeah.
hang out with chicks. Come on, bro.
Dylan's like, no.
You need to rethink. No, I'm just kidding. I don't like your answer.
We've gone off track. All right.
It's fucking piercing my ears, by the way.
All right, Dylan. Who do you think wins in a fight? Freddy, Jason, or Michael Myers?
Well, this is another one.
Ooh.
All of them have been to space now.
Jason X was
All
in
right,
space.
well, anyways.
Okay.
So the problem or the question is who would win in a fight
in space.
in space?
So Jason's been to space, so
Yeah, but
guess he wins.
Freddy only wins in your dreams.
okay.
And I don't think Michael Myers has dreams.
So he's not penetrating Michael Myers.
He's not
He's
messing
not
with
killing
Michael Myers.
He doesn't have dreams. He just goes to sleep.
You know what? That's a good point. I never thought of that, though.
So it's between Michael Myers and Jason.
Okay.
Okay.
And I would say Jason probably.
Okay.
He can't die. They've killed him in every way they
Keeps
can.
coming back.
He just keeps coming back. I know they all do, but he's just not phased.
Yeah. He's got
Yeah.
a bit of magic.
And I'm not really scared of William Shatner's face.
The mask, yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
it worked really well.
I think we all said Freddy, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
For
Yeah.
sure.
But I never thought of that because, yeah, it's dreams.
Yeah.
Does Michael Myers dream?
But he breaks through. He breaks through
does.
to the real world, like in Freddy's Revenge, the second film. He breaks through the pool scene, starts taking people out. But yeah.
Okay.
But
Yep.
yeah.
I'm going with Jason then.
Your answer's wrong, but
That's okay.
it's fine.
Tell him, Gary.
Yeah, nothing beats finger knives. So.
Fingernail.
Finger.
Back on track. All right, Dylan. What's your favorite scary movie?
My favorite scary movie is again from when I was a kid, and we would start going to the library and picking out movies that were at
yeah.
the library because they were free. So Dad took us, and we would always get these just off the wall movies, and like we got Children of the Corn and
Yep.
all that, which
I remember that.
is not scary at all now.
Back
But
then,
back then it was terrible. We were
crazy.
terrified to be by cornfields, but
and we did live in PA.
Pumpkinhead was definitely my favorite because it was so much fun watching it.
Yeah.
Because Dad was just laughing the whole time, and you watched it with us, and I think you were like 4.
Oh,
And we
damn.
were
yeah.
laughing so much that you weren't scared about any of it. And it was pretty funny.
I thought that was child's play.
Me too.
No,
See, I
he
have
loved
a-
Child's Play, but
He would laugh like ridiculous and like this is not like scary at all. Like
Yeah.
you're ruining any aspect
No.
of this movie being scary.
no, Pumpkinhead
Yeah.
was pretty funny.
That's interesting because I must have blocked that out. It must be a repressed memory for me because I don't remember watching
Oh, I
Pumpkinhead when
remember,
I was a
yeah.
kid.
Yeah.
That's hilarious. All right, so Pumpkinhead.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Nice. That's a
it was
good choice.
one.
That's a good choice.
Oh, I thought you were done with that damn thing.
Bonus round.
Bonus
round.
Who's your favorite brother?
Dylan. Matt, shut up. Dylan, name the killer of Friday the 13th.
Oh, that's Jason's mom.
All right.
He
good.
watched the movie.
No, but I knew that when he asked
know,
the
I
question,
know.
I was like, oh, I know this because you had this question. I think
Oh,
on,
Derek.
you had
try-
this question on one of your other podcasts. I think one of the first ones you were talking about this.
Well, we covered Friday the 13th.
Yeah, we did Friday the 13th.
yeah, and I was like, oh yeah, it was his mom.
Yeah.
And then I watched that movie.
That was a good one.
All right.
I liked it.
I'd like to thank Ghostface for swinging by.
Yeah, thanks, Go
Thanks,
Face.
Ghostface. Such a
Go,
nice fella.
more like go away face.
All right, before we get into Scream, let's play just a little catch up with everyone. Typically, when we start off podcasts, we do, have you watched anything scary besides Scream, or has anything scary happened? So, anyone got anything? You got anything, Carrie? I'll throw it to you first.
I watched a little bit of The Leprechaun with you and Ian.
Oh, yeah,
last
we did.
weekend.
Yeah.
We watched
That's a
3.
good
We
one.
watched 1, 2, and 3.
Very
You watched them all.
inappropriate for Ian.
Probably.
Like, I was like, oh my gosh, Derek.
I shouldn't have let him watch 2 and 3. Yeah. It was
Yeah.
there was a lot of adult content in there.
Yeah.
I had to shield his eyes a couple times. I was like, all right.
Yeah.
And I told him we couldn't watch the rest of them. So the first one's fine. It's
Yeah.
surprisingly a little bit more gory than I remember it from when we were kids.
I know the movie, but I vaguely remember.
Jennifer Aniston.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Jennifer
she's in
Aniston.
it, but
yeah.
That's like her first bigger
Big
movie.
role.
That's how
Yeah.
the boys spent St. Patrick's Day watching Leprechaun.
binge watching Leprechaun on the
Nice.
couch. Yeah. What about you, Dylan? Anything scary or movies?
No, not really.
I feel like Dylan should be like on NPR with his voice.
NPR.
Yeah, just like the way you talk. You're like,
Carrie's
hello, this
sleeping.
is Dylan. Welcome. It is now 1:41
Yeah.
p.m. Jesus.
Did you have anything though?
I do.
Okay, go ahead.
But I mean, it wasn't scary movies. It's documentaries. I'm watching all these
Ooh.
like documentaries,
Yeah.
and me and Carrie, we're
get it.
fiends for it. But
yeah.
Yeah.
but I've watched this documentary. Just all this. It's like cult sort of stuff. It's crazy. I forget the names of them. I should have wrote this shit down. But it's just. One is like, oh, I've been watching this documentary about this school, like this boarding school that these kids went to, and how they shut the school down because there was like abuse and everything. And the kids, they went and back into the school and they talked to like some of the people that were their workers and stuff, and like what,
Yeah.
confronted them and stuff. So it was very interesting. And then I started watching another one about this like desert, like they take the kids out to this
The
desert.
wilderness one.
Yeah,
Mhm.
they take them out to the desert, and they gotta live through that, and it's supposed to like boost them up. Bear, I guess, is this guy's, the counselor's name is Bear. He's this fucking weird dude with this like Native American Indian choker. He's white as shit, but and there's abuse there. A girl ended up dying and stuff, and they dragged this kid through the ground and stuff because he refused to hike. He was done.
Oh, wow.
So it's just that kind of stuff. I mean, that's scary shit. These parents are sending their kids away to
Yeah.
these camps thinking,
Yeah, but that happened in the 80s. Like,
but I mean, they're sending them away, and they're thought, because they promoted this stuff. They would
Yeah.
go on these shows and they would promote it like, yeah, we're gonna get your kids straight. Well, they basically just
Jenny
abused
Jones
them.
and shit.
Yeah,
Go on those shows.
Donahue and
Yep.
stuff.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
so that's what I've been watching.
Yeah, I know Carrie's been watching that stuff. I've been catching little bits here and there about
Yeah.
some
Yeah.
of that
well,
stuff.
I listen to National Park After Dark. Shout
Okay.
out to those girls, their podcast.
Nice.
And they did the episode on the wilderness, so I watched the documentary on that.
Is it, where was that, Max?
It's like desert hell or hell something,
I think
hell
it's
desert,
Amazon Prime or something.
something like that.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
You
That's
still
cool.
you still haven't watched Nexium yet?
Oh
though?
yeah, I've watched
Oh,
that.
my
I've
gosh.
watched all that. Yeah.
What's Nexium?
Nexium's the sex cult
Oh, with the actress lady?
Creepy dude.
with all
yeah.
with
Oh,
all the
okay.
celebrities.
They're
and
like
stuff,
branding each other and shit?
Yeah.
Okay.
I have
Yeah.
no idea what you're talking about.
And then they thought it was like this symbol that he just made up, and it's actually his fucking initials. Like it's bonkers.
It's really
Yeah.
that one's yeah.
So I'm with you, Carrie. I'm a big
Is the
cult.
one with the school, is that called The Program or something? I saw an
yeah,
advertisement
yeah.
for
There's that,
Yeah.
and then the one where they're in the desert. It's like called Hell Desert or something like
I
that.
forget what it's called.
Yeah, they're not giving these kids water or anything like that.
Oh, wow.
Pretty brutal.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's my scary stuff. How about you, Derek? You see anything scary?
I did watch. Actually, I think you might like it because you love Mother so much.
Okay. I don't know if I can do another movie like that.
Where no one watches it?
No, just like the intensity of it. Yeah.
Yeah, so I watched a movie called Marrowbone. It's
Okay.
actually on Peacock, but the reason I watched it is it has Anya Taylor-Joy in it and Mia Goth, who I love all their stuff. I've been fiending for more,
know
so I
Mia
found
Goth,
this.
yeah.
It's cool, but it's also on Tubi if people don't have Peacock. But it's about these kids who them and their mom get away from their dad, who's like this mad serial killer, very abusive. I don't want to ruin it for people who want to watch it, but it's a cool, like, kind of like Shutter Island. I don't know if you've ever seen
that's a
Shutter
good
Island,
Mm-hmm.
but it's kind of like a psychological thriller, like horror film. So I would highly recommend it for people who want like great acting and something a little scary. I would check out Marrowbone. It was pretty phenomenal. But then real life, I had a scary parent conversation last weekend when Carrie was out of town. Everyone who listens to the podcast may be aware that my son does a little side podcast with us called Little Ian of Horrors.
That's right.
Of hoas.
Of Hoas.
Hoas.
I know when you
So
say
cute.
Ian.
We had the birds and the bees conversation
Oh,
last weekend.
That's fun.
Yeah, it was fun. That was all. Just the birds and the bees.
Mm-hmm.
This
Because
is my rifle. This is my gun.
no.
Oh,
well,
that's not the.
I wasn't reciting Full Metal Jacket lines.
That's the way I was taught.
It was funny because what prompted it, I don't know, Carrie, you were the one who was like, does Ian know where babies come from? I'm like, I'm pretty sure, but let's ask him. So we
Yeah.
called him into the bedroom. He came into the bedroom like, hey, do you know where babies come from? And he said, yes, they come from the belly. And we're like, okay. And then he said, and then they come out of your butt.
Yes.
Close.
Yes.
Out of the butt.
That's
Close.
right. That's what I.
Out
Yep.
of the butt.
It comes
The
out of
butt.
the butt. So that's why we call you a little piece of shit. So now you know.
But yeah, I had the conversation with him last weekend. And yeah, so now he is aware of how it happens.
How did
But
it go? Was it?
It was good. He seemed a little inquisitive, especially when it came to like two men who were together and how they had a baby. It was a good opportunity for me to explain adoption and also the surrogate situation. So I was like, okay,
Yeah,
well,
Derek went
you know.
in great. I was like
Yeah.
very impressed. I was
Yeah.
like, wow, Derek, good job.
We had that conversation last weekend, and for me, like, we grew up, Mom was just very open with us about, you know, the birds and the bees and explaining that stuff. So I didn't feel awkward about it, but I just thought it was.
Did you draw pictures?
I didn't draw pictures.
Did you have a photo?
I gave him a website to go to.
Website's
Gosh,
real good.
stop.
Here's a good website.
Now you go to YouTube. There's another tube. No pictures. But it was funny. We had the talk in the car while we were driving. So
Nice.
I
That's a
wasn't
good place.
I wasn't even sitting in like face to face and talking to him. I was just like looking in the
Looking
rear,
up.
rear view
Yeah, but he's
mirror.
contained.
Yeah,
You
he
know what I
can't
mean?
get away.
Yeah.
It was probably like a 10-minute conversation, and it was good. We hit the important points. I knew he was done because remember that guy we met at Spooky, Darren, with Weird Darkness?
Yes.
We've been listening to his podcast, me and Ian, because Ian likes paranormal stories and stuff like that. So quickly thereafter, he's like, Dad, can we put on Weird Darkness? I was like, all right. I
And
guess
he was like, I'm down.
I'm like, you don't
I'm
have any
done.
more questions? He's like, no. I'm like, all right, we'll listen to Weird Darkness.
Dylan remembers the guy too. He was with us.
You guys got a photo with him.
We did.
Did we? Oh, maybe
But
at
I-
his booth.
Remember, I asked him the question at his panel. I asked him to do the sound effects for the merman from
Yes.
The Cabin in the Woods, and he did
Yes.
it. It was awesome.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
was so cool. I was a little drunk too, but Darren was fun. He was a good guy.
Oh.
All right, enough of this.
Can I give a shout out to Shelly, even
Yes.
if you put it at the end, because I know she's not going to be here for the next couple weeks, but
Yeah,
tell her good luck in her play, because this
that's
might
right.
come out all right around when it does. And thank her for going out with me to Fall Out Boy last weekend.
Oh,
So we
that's
lived our
Yeah, Carrie lived
best
it up.
life for a couple hours. Went VIP, sat like 10 rows from the stage, and
Cool.
it was awesome.
Very
We had a
cool.
great time. So thanks, Shelly.
Yeah, Shelly. We will
We're
see
so
you
excited
soon.
for her
Yeah.
play, though. Yeah.
Yeah, she's got a major role, so
Yeah.
we're super excited. We
I
can't
know.
wait to go check it out.
I keep
That's awesome.
keep telling her I don't want to know about it either.
What's the name of Shelley's play?
The play that goes wrong.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good one.
So you know of that one?
Yeah, the high school did it last year.
Her and Annabelle were talking about
2
it.
years ago
Yeah.
they did it. Yep.
Nice.
Yeah. Annabelle
was
did
great.
like stage crew, right?
Yeah.
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 Nice.
I don't want to know. It's her first major role, and I just want to go in like totally blind.
Yeah,
What's
we're
good
about
about it is that if you mess up, nobody knows.
Yeah.
Ooh,
whole
it's very
thing's
loose.
yeah. It's-
Yeah.
yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
All right, guys, let's kick it off. We kick them all off. Dig up the bones. And this is where I introduce the movie and give a brief summary. So, Scream is a horror slasher film released on December 20th, 1996, written by Kevin Williamson, who also wrote I Know What You Did Last Summer, The Faculty, Dawson's Creek, and Vampire Diaries. Didn't you watch? Did you like Vampire
Yeah, I like
Diaries?
Vampire Diaries.
Did you watch how many seasons? Do you remember?
It's a lot of seasons.
A lot of seasons. Okay. Thought I remembered you watching that.
Yeah.
So.
I think Maddie's watching that now.
Yeah.
Oh, Vampire Diaries.
Yeah, she's watching all this 90s stuff now.
Oh, that's sick. Directed by Wes Craven, who also did Last House on the Left, Nightmare on Elm Street, Shocker. He also did People Under the Stairs, tons of films. Obviously, Wes Craven is a legend. R.I.P. Producers were Kathy Conrad and Carrie Woods. Music by Marco Beltrami, who also did the music in Mimic, The Faculty as well, Hellboy, Triple X, State of the Union, and he did the music for the Thing remake in 2011. So,
Okay.
So
Yeah.
that it wasn't really a remake; it was a prequel.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, but anyways, cinematography by Mark Irwin, who also worked on Old School, Freddy Got Fingered, and then the 1998 remake of The Blob. Special effects, here we go. K&B Effects Group, which was founded by Robert Kurtzman, Greg Nicotero, and Howard Berger. Their first film that they worked on was Intruder, which has Sam and Ted Raimi in it, and then Bruce made a cameo as like a cop. But it's a cool like grocery store slasher flick
Oh, that sounds
from like
cool.
the 80s. We should watch it.
Yeah, that sounds really cool.
I would check out The Intruder if no one's watched it, but they've also done work on Inglourious Bastards, Kill Bill Volume 1, and then the remake of Last House on the Left, which has an amazing scene at the end with a guy's head in a microwave.
Noise.
You can even look up just that scene on YouTube and you'll find it. It's awesome. Moving on, this film had a budget of $14 million, and then opening week in US and Canada, it only made $6.3 million. So slow start, but I'm injecting a fun fact here. The film opened at number 4 at the box office, so the studio thought the film had flopped. However, with every week, it went up via good word of mouth. So by the end of its nearly 8-month run in theaters, it made over $100 million. So longevity, my voice just cracked.
Longevity.
And then obviously the final gross was $173 million.
Wow.
So starring Neve Campbell as Sidney Prescott, David Arquette as Deputy Dewey Riley, Courtney Cox as Gail Weathers, Skeet Ulrich as Billy Loomis, Rose McGowan as Tatum Riley, Matthew Lillard as Stuart Mocker, Jamie Kennedy as Randy Meeks, and then Roger Jackson did the voice for Ghostface on the phone calls, and then we finished it off with Drew Barrymore as Casey Becker. So, Scream. The peaceful town of Woodsboro, California is turned into Blood Will Spillville after the deaths of teenager Casey Becker and her football-playing boyfriend Steve. The horror-obsessed mass lunatic soon sets his sights on Sidney Prescott, a peer of Casey's who is still reeling from the traumatic death of her mother from a year ago. Despite the whole town being on heightened alert and essentially shut down, there's a big bash at Stu's parents' house, and it's here that Sidney faces her past trauma and finds that everybody's a suspect. So, initial reactions to landing on Scream. Carrie, I know you gave the film as a recommendation. Why?
Why?
Yeah.
One of my favorite movies.
Is this your favorite horror movie?
It's really close between this and Nightmare on Elm Street.
Yeah.
Like, those two are like extremely close together. An easy watch for me because some horror movies I don't like to watch because they're too scary or like paranormal type things. So for me, this is an easy watch.
Good answer. Dylan, how about you? I reached out to you. I knew I couldn't ask you to come on any episode. It had to be a good film. So when I reached out to you, like, did you have any thoughts on having to watch Scream? Do you have any history with the movie?
No, I remember when it came out and everything like that because it was in '96.
Yeah.
So it's a good watch. It has its funny parts and scary parts and everything. So no, it was good. I liked watching it. It's fun watching it with the kids too because it's a good a step into the
You watched it with
horror
the girls,
genre.
right?
Yeah, Annabelle kicked out halfway through.
Oh yeah.
She's like, I'm out.
Maddie
Yeah.
was in it to win it.
Yeah, she had watched it before. Maddie's watched it because she's, like I said, she's watching all the '90s stuff.
I know. That's so cool. Yeah.
So cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it was enjoyable.
Good.
I liked it.
Matt, when Dylan agreed and said he would come back, I know you were busy. I wasn't sure if we could get you on the podcast, but when we saw that you would have this weekend available, I was like, ooh, a chance for the brothers to get on.
Yeah, no, I was excited to get all four of us to get together. Actually, the fam. I was excited.
Yeah,
it was cool.
What about with Scream? Do you remember watching it like the first time or anything?
Yeah, I do remember watching it, and I loved it. I do remember watching it and saying, this is a great fucking horror movie. This is awesome. Like, the music in it, the dramatic, like that stuff really got me. Obviously, the first scene with Drew Barrymore and all that, I mean, that was awesome. I was definitely excited to come on and talk about it, hang out. Yeah.
I can't remember the first time I watched Scream. I feel like it was probably a VHS that we rented.
I'm sure.
I remember seeing it when we were younger, and I'm actually being able to finish watching it because it wasn't like anything crazy, like paranormal, like you said, Carrie. I just thought it was a whatever slasher flick when I first watched it. I didn't fall in love with this movie until probably a couple years back. You were in love with it, Carrie, and I was like, yeah, we'll watch it because I think the sixth one was coming out.
Yeah.
And I was like, all right, I'll rewatch these since we're going to go to the movies and I can get all the references because it always goes back and references itself in all the other movies. So when I did and I went back, I fell in love. I was excited that you gave it to us to cover, Carrie, and that we could finally get this one under our belts.
Yeah.
Next up is Feasting Fiends. And this is where we discuss the topics of overall pros, overall cons of the movie, characters, dialogue, and favorite kills / scares. So, Carrie, since you suggested the movie,
oh man, pressure.
can I give
always.
it to you? I'm going to throw the pros to you first.
Okay, I have a lot.
No, that's cool.
Chime in whenever you want.
Yeah.
So just that it is part of the slasher genre, but then it blends a whole bunch of elements. So it has horror, it has comedy, it has mystery. Is a real life thriller because like they're teenagers, like, and they act like teenagers, even though like I know they're not really teenagers in it, but it is like a reality teen horror movie. You know, their parents were involved with Casey at the beginning, which really made it really real. It was just like this blend of all these genres together.
I got that first scene with the parents, like their reactions, like that was amazing.
You rarely
so
see
gut-wrenching.
that up until that point in horror. Like, it's just like, oh, these teens are getting murdered and their parents are never around.
Yeah, they never.
But this, like, her parents were there.
Just got
it was
back,
so real and
I know.
just so, like, intense.
And that's true too.
You know?
Like they just pulled in. She's coming around the corner. She's trying to call out for help. Just like the suspense and like
Can't yell.
how terrible that moment is.
It's almost like a dream, right? You
Yeah.
ever have those dreams where you can't, like, you're trying to yell and you can't get it out? That's exactly what she was doing. She's like trying to yell mom.
Yeah.
And mom's like, just feet away from her.
And not only that, but then also when she goes to call 911 and picks up the phone, and who does she hear on the phone but Casey taking her last breaths? And it's just what a well-written beginning of this movie. So,
It's like a short story.
yeah, it is.
It could be like all itself.
The perfect setup for this movie and this whole franchise.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The cast is just so good. There's so many good people in it. This definitely started my love for Neve Campbell and just like adoring her. I'm not really a Courtney Cox fan, but she is the perfect Gale. Like,
Yes.
she is Gale.
She fought for that
I
part
can't
too.
believe anybody else.
I know. So good.
I think it's crazy that Drew Barrymore was going to be Sydney. I can't picture her being Sydney.
Yeah.
I'm glad that they did the switch because she was really good. They played it off really well with like showcasing her. I think that brought people to the movie and then killing her off pretty quick. So great cast. You guys know I know we said this on the one podcast that I was for Taming the T-Rex, but like love that movie.
Thank you.
It's so great. But Ghostface is just such a memorable villain. He's just so simple and easy in his costume. He or she does not have superpowers. It's quirky, goofy, like all over the place, just the silhouette of it, to like running through the house with a knife and always the wipe of the blood. Oh, just like such a memorable villain.
A very clean killer.
Yes.
Very concerned about the contamination of blood. But yeah, I love the human element of Ghostface too. You know, with Freddy, with Michael, with all those other guys. Look, we get this super this like superpower, but this was clearly a human being because they were getting fucked up in every scene that they were attacking someone.
Yeah.
I love that it was clearly just like it was a teenage kid. Like there's no way that a teenage kid should just bully people through scenes. It was believable that, you know, when we get the shocking reveal at the end that, oh yeah, okay, so these teenage boys were getting their asses handed to them. That makes total sense.
Yeah.
So I love that part of Ghostface as well.
Yep.
I agree, Carrie.
Thanks. The script, Kevin Williamson is so witty and smart, and he's just so sharp with this script. Like, it is just so good. Even watching it again, we watched it again this morning. I think you had the closed caption on today.
I did, yeah.
Right? So like that helps. There's so many references in it, not only horror but pop culture, and it is just so entertaining, and it does leave it open for the franchise. So that's why I like it too, because it did end up being, you know, such a huge franchise. It's satire on the genre, pokes fun, like you were saying, at itself and everything. So, and then the last thing that I have kind of ties back into that, but just like most people are like, oh my gosh, this movie is so dated. I love that it's so 90s.
Yeah, it is.
I guess because we grew up in the 90s.
Definitely.
That's why I like it.
It's like dated. What?
Yeah,
I guess I'm dated. So.
Yeah.
It's like, what do you mean?
Matt's wearing corduroy pants.
Casablanca is a great movie.
But yeah, I guess because we grew up in that time. Like I remember when we were dating, going to the VHS store and renting the like the introduction of the cell phone. Her working. Yeah. I mean, I work for a Fortune 10 company, and we still use a DAWS system in our computers. But just like Sydney on the DAWS system, like typing them. Tatum's outfits, like
yes, the best.
Oh my gosh, it was so good. It was just like, I love the 90s, and it was everything about the 90s. I know some people will be like, I don't like that, but like I liked that it took me back to that time.
But I feel like that look is coming back. Like the
for
grunge.
sure. Look at Maddie.
Yeah.
When she's thrifting, that's what she buys. All this like 90s stuff.
Yeah, but she's like watching the movies and the TV shows, and she's like, I love that that's like coming back. Yeah. So.
What about you, Dylan? What do you got for pros?
The pro is probably the simplicity of it.
Okay.
You know, because it's something that could happen. You know, there's no like you said, special powers or no, you know, witch doctor stuff. It's all just like, this could definitely happen. Some kid going crazy or kids going crazy and just attacking each other. And then I do like just some of the nostalgia of it. Like, was it the police officer? And he's like, what do you have a cell phone for?
Yeah. Like everybody has them.
Which,
like
by the way,
nowadays,
in the mid-90s,
not everybody.
Maybe rich kids. And I guess they were rich kids, but there was I didn't know anyone with cell phones in like 96.
When did we get our
cellular phones or whatever they were called?
I got my first cell phone in 96.
I think
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think I had one in 97 or something like that. I had my first
interesting.
One.
Really?
It was a Nokia.
Yeah. I don't remember what it was.
Interesting.
The Nokia.
What did you get your first cell phone, Carrie?
When did I turn 16?
I don't know. You tell me.
when
I turned 16.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Played Worm on it.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't have a lot of selection.
It's awesome.
I got my first own cell phone was when I moved to Florida.
Oh, okay.
And I went to, I think it was Verizon or something, and bought a phone. But before that, I was borrowing mom and dad's when I would go to like Slippery Rock to hang out with you. But before that, I never had or used a cell phone. So that was like, we moved down to Florida in 2005, 2004. So yeah.
Dylan, have anything else?
Oh, being of the time when we were about that age, it's just fun to relate to. And when Sydney gets off the bus and all that stuff, it's like, yeah, I remember those days.
Dude, I was laughing at that part because she was like 25 in this role, and I was like, look at that 25-year-old get off with a book bag on a bus. I was like, that's hilarious looking. No,
I thought it was good though, and then how everybody, if you have a little party, they crash the party and never ends up just being a little party.
You're like, well, there's a news reporter and a cop here.
Oh, she did a good job. I thought her character was a good character.
Oh, are you talking
Courtney
about Gale?
Cox? Yeah,
Courtney Cox for Gale. And like, she just like, can I come in here? They're like, sure.
Yeah. Come on in.
Yeah, it was good.
What about you, Matt?
I mean, Carrie pretty much touched on all bases. I'm a sucker for nostalgia, and it does. Anytime you watch these kind of movies, it really does bring you back, and you're like, oh yeah, I know that feeling.
Yeah.
Because you really do. what I like about this movie too is, obviously, and then a lot of movies do it. The music is another character in the movie where like things get tense. Like I like that. Like if you just shut that off and just watch the movie with no, you don't know what to anticipate. So I like that kind of stuff. But
Beltrami's score, like faking you out, and the one part like Sydney goes to open the closet in the hallway. And it tenses up, and then she shuts it, and there's nothing there.
You think you're gonna see like somebody in like him walking back in the background or something? Nothing.
But because of Beltrami's score, you're just like you're heightened up, but it fakes you out, and then it lulls you into like, oh, I can be relaxed since like the music doesn't mean anything. And in other moments they bring it, and something pops up. So that's a great point.
Yeah, and the other thing too is I'm a sucker for a good horror comedy. So this one definitely falls in that line of horror comedy. A lot of the dialogue back and forth is really good.
It is, and that's one of the things I liked a lot was Kevin Williamson's dialogue with the teenagers. Very comical, and then like all the references with Randy and even all the other characters to like the horror films.
They all do it.
And that's
all of them do. Like most movies don't want to talk about other movies, and they were blatantly talking about movies and talking about life, and like it wasn't like it was a movie.
You're actually there hanging out. Yeah.
So, we talked about that opening scene, and I spoke about the performance of the parents, but I did want to give a shout out because I didn't list them in the cast, but it was David Booth and Carla Hatley that played the parents, Casey's parents, but they killed that scene. They really brought it home, and I was blown away by it. But and we've been talking about it, but like the meta-ness of it all, just how it holds a mirror up to itself. And it pokes fun at itself with the comedy, but then it also like falls into the same tropes that it's like poking fun at. Sydney on the phone with the first time with Ghostface, she talks about the bimbo running upstairs when she should go out the door. She has to run upstairs because the door's locked when she's getting chased. So like even though they're poking holes at these tropes, they're falling into these trope traps.
Yeah.
So I love that movie does that. I love a good like Scooby-Doo, like whodunit. And like all the red herrings in this movie are phenomenal.
Oh,
like
it's definitely Scooby-Doo-ish.
Yeah, and like a lot of moments you're like, oh, they're really trying to sell Dewey as a killer. And then there's another moment where I forget who the sheriff was, but there was pointing to him that maybe he could be it. And when it fell together at the end, it was great because we're just expecting a solo slasher, but to get the dual slasher, the surprise, it's a phenomenal ending to this film. But those are my pros.
Could be anyone.
Could be. Carrie.
Yes.
Cons. Do you have any?
They're like very nitpicky.
Yeah.
I feel like that opening scene is so gory and intense. And then sometimes the other kills are not like that.
Yeah.
So you got hit so hard at the beginning, and then like some of the other kills weren't as intense as that. So, and I don't need like overly gore.
It does almost eclipse the rest of the movie.
Yeah, because
it is so good. Yeah.
But then like Tatum's death is like so humorous. Like, and she's joking with him, and then she like calls him a fucker and throws a bottle at him. She throws him over her back. Like it's so like goofy kicked. And like all over the place. But that beginning one is just so punch and hit so hard, and then the other ones just don't hit as hard as that first one.
So it fell off a little bit for you as far as the brutal intenseness of the kills.
Yeah, I didn't mind it. It just was a shift. It kind of makes you not think that it was Stu and Billy. Like, do you know what I mean? Because the kill is just so different. And then the only...
You just gave it away, Carrie.
Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry.
All right.
Spoiler.
Especially for anyone who's listening to horror podcasts have most likely watched Scream. But it's
my only other con is the, like, I know it's a big chunk of the movie, but it just is kind of weird that, like, they do chase Sydney so much, and she is a virgin. What if they did kill her?
Yeah.
Like, and she wasn't a virgin, or she was still virgin. So, like, just them chasing Sydney sometimes, I don't know, maybe I wish they would have held off a little bit and maybe did some other stuff with that. Like the bathroom scene is just unnecessary. I don't mind that the girls like are talking smack about her, like but for him to like chase her in there.
I don't know if it was Wes or who it was, but originally they wanted to cut that scene, but they decided to keep it because of them talking shit on Sydney's mom.
Yeah.
And like painting that picture that Sydney's mom was this lady who was kind of running around a little bit, and there were these rumors out there, which kind of, at the end brought it back around. But
but why did Ghostface need to be in there? He didn't need to be in there.
Yeah. Well, that was that was the moment where it was sort of pointed to the sheriff as a red herring because Ghostface, whoever in that scene, stepped down from the toilet and they had those boots on.
Yeah.
And then when Dewey was talking to the sheriff after they found
and
out
he smashed a cigarette
with the boots. So, but yeah, I get that.
Yeah.
Dylan?
Oh,
You awake?
when I was watching it, I was like, none of these people have a dog that would just go crazy when somebody's
There's a cat.
There's
a cat in the garage.
my dog goes crazy if somebody gets within
That's
20 feet of my
hilarious.
house.
Yeah.
The lack of
Yours
dogs.
is the same.
Oh,
same, man. It's like,
my dog
what is
ape
going
shit.
on? Like,
Matt's dogs would lose their mind.
Insane.
yeah.
That's hilarious.
I just
Only
thought like
Stu had a cat.
none of these
Yeah.
none of these kids have dogs or anything like this. It's just crazy to me. But anyway, no, I thought that,
Dylan's
and then
con. No one has a pet.
He's thinking,
And then I was
he's
like,
thinking outside the box.
Well, Dylan's house is full of cats, dogs, and a turtle. So it's crazy.
yeah, and then just for the longest time, you're like, what is the plot of this? Why are they going after these kids?
Yeah.
And still, even in the beginning, like, what did they go after the girl
Casey
at-
for?
Yeah, Casey and her boyfriend. What was the reason for that?
Yeah.
Because she dated Stu.
Oh,
She broke up with Stu.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right.
He wasn't
because he said
happy.
it.
He said
She
he
didn't
was
break
okay
up with it.
it.
He broke up with her.
Oh, okay.
He's like, we
Dylan.
dated for a minute.
But
right?
Yeah.
but Stu's motive was peer pressure.
Well, he's in love with Billy, but
Oh yeah, we could talk about that too.
Oh, when he gets on his back a little bit.
Yeah. Oh, he is staring at his neck like he wants to put his lips on it. Yeah, he is.
Nice.
I know.
Another thing is when again the bathroom scene, when she runs out of the bathroom, he's in the bathroom. There's only one way in and out.
and
She-
there's a lady in the hallway.
She could have stopped it, him right there,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
I was like, oh, whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she didn't say anything to anyone. It was like, I'll just go home. Somebody
think-
tried to kill
No,
me.
she did, and that's why school got canceled. That's why the principal canceled school.
But we didn't see her go to the principal.
Principal's
it was just
office,
we heard
yeah.
him on the intercom. School's been canceled.
Oh,
Everyone
yeah.
was super happy though.
Yeah.
But yeah, I like that you started off with dogs though.
I just thought
love
it was
that.
so weird on
That's
watching. I'm
hilarious.
like, why is like nobody has a dog that's going nuts with these dudes?
The lack of animals present in this movie.
love that.
Unacceptable.
Yeah, hilarious. What about you, Matt?
I think I'm going to jump on with Carrie. I wish the beginning they kind of, blew up the scene there as far as gore.
Yeah.
And then it was just kind of like stabbings after that. So I kind of agree. That was probably my only really thing I could say that was a bummer.
Yeah.
I don't really have too much to say other than the gore, and I didn't really pay attention to any kind of dog not being around. So.
No pets in the whole movie.
No pets, not even a goldfish.
Nothing.
Jeez.
Oh, there-
There's
Stu's-
one cat.
There's just Stu's cat
Yeah.
that runs out a little cat door in the garage.
Not
Yeah.
a dog door, cat door.
Kitty cat door.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
For my cons, I'll actually kind of piggyback. Carrie talked about this movie being of age during the 90s, but the title card just seemed really lazy to me in the beginning of the movie. It was just scream and it flashed and then it went red, and I was like, with a movie with such a cool like mask for the killer and like a cool looking blade, like we didn't get any kind of like slashing of the word or like something cool. Like we just got flashing. Like
I wish
lightning.
they would have did it after the murders. Like they do
Oh, do the
Casey's
scene-
body
Yes,
and
I
then
agree.
do it. I think it would have punched a little bit more.
It's
but-
funny because when we went to rewatch it for the podcast, that's what I thought it was a cold opening with Casey, and then after that happened, we got the title, but I was like, oh, never mind. I guess it just goes to Sydney in
Yeah.
her bedroom. So I agree. I think that would
You
have been a
and
better
your
movie.
title things, because when we watched the stuff, you didn't like the title.
Yeah, well, the stuff during the movie was just normal, boring font. But yeah, the second movie in a row. But
sorry.
this next one, sort of legit. In this movie, there's the whole conversation of Sydney's her virginity and how she's also going through this trauma with her mother's death the year before, being raped and murdered. And then Billy is just a shitbag boyfriend who's just guilting her the whole fucking movie with not giving it up to him. And then
Yeah.
for her to for me, I felt like she easily gave it up at the end, and it didn't make sense. I understand its function within this movie to talk about the trope of what Randy was talking about in that final scene where it was like, the virgins always take out the killer. I was like, okay, it's flipping it. But so I understand it in that aspect, but I think for her character and her like development, it was just weird that she gave it up so quickly to a boyfriend who was never sweet to her. All he talked about was how their relationship started off as R-rated on the way to NC-17, and now it's just edited for TV. So he was just a dick, and he was like gaslighting her the whole time about it. So I just thought it was weird that she seemed like a very sweet girl, and she just all of a sudden about-faced and gave it up to Billy.
You think it's because she put him in jail and then she wanted to make it up to him or anything?
Yeah, a little guilt.
Yeah, I think the guilt is what she did it. I think that's what it was.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Still no,
it was
though.
very,
That's probably a high percent of high school boys just being assholes.
Yeah.
But yeah, get it.
Burping.
Go ahead. Come on, let it out.
Oh, them hot dogs I ate for breakfast.
Is that why it smells like hot dogs in here?
Yeah.
Damn it.
We had hot dogs for breakfast in bed.
It's one of them days.
Wow.
It's a Sunday hot dog breakfast.
It was awesome. Karen's like, hey, it's a little too late for breakfast, but we have hot dogs.
10:45.
Oh, this is
That's
for
not
real.
breakfast.
You're not fucking around. You had hot dogs at 10
We
o'clock.
had leftovers.
Hey, listen, it's brunch.
It's time for brunch hot dogs. But yeah, that was it. I was just a little surprised about how easily
he was so mad about his mom cheating on his dad with Sydney's mom, and then the whole entire movie he just tried to chase that ass.
Yeah,
Chase that ass.
that was his conquest.
I know.
Yep.
Maybe he knew she couldn't, in order to possibly kill her, she needed to not be a virgin.
Maybe
Maybe he knew the rules.
he did know the rules.
They
He was
watched movies.
Yeah, watch a couple movies. Okay, let's move on into characters. Carrie.
Oh my gosh, everybody is so good
I
in this movie.
know.
It's so hard.
Yeah.
Everybody. Sydney, what a great final girl. And then she goes on throughout all the movies, and she's just so good. And you said she's dealing with her own trauma, so she has all these emotional layers to herself. I love Stu. I know I've seen interviews with him going back and saying, like, what was I doing?
Matthew Lillard.
But I love him in this movie. He's so quirky and weird.
I think that's where I became a fan of Matthew Lillard was this movie.
Yeah, he's so good.
Goofy, cocky. Yeah.
He's a
I
definite
like it.
recognizable high school kid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Exactly.
This
You
kid
have
is
that
definitely
guy.
a high school
Yes,
kid.
100%. Yep.
Yeah, the
100%.
jackassery of him
Oh,
is
yeah,
completely
absolutely.
believable as a high school kid.
Uh-huh.
Liver alone, being a dick.
Realistic high school kid
He
of
is.
all of them. I was
You
like,
could,
this
we
kid
could
is
all sit
definitely-
here and name that kid in high school.
Oh, I know
too.
the kid.
I know mine too. I know mine too. Yeah.
He's so good.
His name is. No,
Yeah.
Oh man. Gale, like we said, like,
Yeah.
you love to hate her.
mm-hmm.
You
Yeah.
love to hate Gale.
She's a boss bitch, though.
She's so
Boss ass
good.
bitch.
Yeah.
She's doing her
Tatum.
job, man.
She
Yeah.
is.
Trying.
She's goal oriented.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tatum, she's the greatest best
friend, the best.
The greatest.
And also one of the coolest kills. We'll get into the kills later, but yeah, one of the most unbelievable but cool kills.
So you don't have a single one that overshadows any of the others?
I mean, my favorite is obviously Ghostface.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
But like
As a villain, yeah.
I do like Stu over Billy, for sure. It is just Ghostface and him or her throughout all the series. It's the mask, it's the mystery, the suspense, unpredictability of Ghostface.
Yeah.
The voice.
The voice.
I
yeah.
would like a better noise machine
We
that
got-
makes
we got duped.
Ghostface's voice.
We got duped Amazon.
And just like the cultural impact of Ghostface, like it's everywhere. Like Halloween, we see all these kids
I
in
know.
Ghostface, and I
Every
know
year.
the new movies, came
Every
out
year.
and stuff.
Yeah.
But I just love Ghostface.
Absolutely. Just something about the characters, but like the friend group
Mm-hmm.
is just, it is the nucleus of this movie. And at the very, very center of it is Sid and Tatum. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, it's funny because even like the boys, like Randy doesn't get along with Stu
No,
and
I
Billy
don't
at
think-
all. Like Randy is just complete. Like who's the one that's connected to Randy that he's like hanging out with everyone? Because
Yeah.
like
I think it's
Billy
gotta be
and
Sydney.
Stu are just
Yeah.
dicks to him, and like
I
don't
think they're
take.
dicks to anyone else. They got their bromance going.
But yeah, it's such an interesting group. It is very realistic too, because like like when you're in high school, like you do have like a clique you're hanging out with, and there are some people who are on the fringes, and like some people don't like, and it's like weird kind of like relationships. But
I think you have friends too that you give more shit to than others, right?
yeah, yeah,
And that's probably him.
they're quicker to get on your nerves
I mean, I can
than others.
well, and just
Yeah.
they're easy to, they say stupid shit, and then you're like, oh, are you fucking stupid?
Yeah.
Did you hear yourself? Like you know.
But I think, the characters were obviously, a huge part of this movie. And I did kind of enjoy like the budding relationship of Dewey and Gale. Mm-hmm. Gale was this cold-hearted lady who seemed to get broke down a little bit by Dewey. I don't know if it was like her plan to like infiltrate the story and get the hot news on it or not, but I enjoyed their relationship in there as well. But yeah, Dylan, talk about
I
characters.
liked Sydney the best, I think.
Sydney was the best.
Yeah. I mean, it's all based around hers, so she's the focal point.
Yeah.
But I liked her. Just she was a tough girl.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She
She wasn't afraid to give it back.
Mm-hmm.
And
not in her movie.
Yeah, not happening here, buddy.
Yep.
A couple of the scenes reminded me of like Kristen Stewart's like mannerisms.
Oh, really?
Like Kristen Stewart got it from
Oh,
Neve Campbell.
interesting.
Kind of like the, like the.
Oh, she was a good
weird
shot,
like the
too.
timid
like,
teenager.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was like, when the one scene that reminded me of that is when she's in the house waiting for them to come pick her up or something. She like falls asleep on the couch. There's a little picture of her mom or whatever, and she's like kind of got that movement. I was like, that's like very Kristen Stewart-ish.
Yeah.
Anyways, I digress.
I think I liked Sydney the best too, and actually one of the scenes that really sold that character to me was the first phone call with Ghostface when he told her he was going to kill her like her mother.
Yeah.
That look of terror in Sydney's face, it's one of the most realistic portrayals of fear. I thought that was a phenomenal kickoff to her being chased throughout the rest of the movie from Ghostface. She was a great final girl, and I'm ecstatic that she's coming back for the 7th.
I did, yeah. They just announced it, yeah.
They announced it because the 7th has been having all kinds of issues with firing actresses and
Oh, wow.
actresses stepping away. Like Jenna Ortega stepped away, so they had nothing. But Neve is coming back as Sydney, and they have Kevin Williamson, who is the writer, but he's coming back and he's going to be directing the 7th. So I think Scream fans will be happy with that news. But it's not hot news. It was like 2 weeks ago that
Yeah, but
came
still,
out.
yeah.
Did
There's
anyone,
just no
go ahead.
bad characters in it. Like
There really
everybody
isn't.
played their part. The principal, he's a creep.
Oh yeah,
but,
he was
like,
touching Sid's
yeah,
face.
yeah. But like
Yeah.
he played a
Henry
part.
Winkler.
Like all the characters were good, had a reason,
Yeah.
had a part, like were necessary.
Yeah.
And Wes Craven as Fred, the janitor.
Oh, that's right.
How amazing!
Great cameo.
3 seconds of
Yeah.
just gloriousness.
Did you catch that, Dylan?
I didn't see that. No.
Oh, okay.
I didn't.
Oh my
when
gosh.
he looks both ways or whatever.
Yeah, and the janitor.
Yeah.
He's got the red.
And the janitor
stripes.
didn't hear anything going on in the office there.
I mean, that wasn't
thought
the
that
point.
too.
Of,
I was like,
that wasn't the
all right.
point of that character.
The point was for us to see Wes Craven dressed in like a cosplay of Freddy Krueger.
yeah.
As a janitor.
Oh, I did see that.
He
with
looked
the,
like
Where-
Freddy
yeah.
Krueger.
That's
Yeah,
Wes
'cause-
Craven.
yeah,
where-
but I saw the Freddy sweater. Though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In a boiler room. Freddy
Yeah.
lives in a boiler room in a school or something, right?
Yeah, but he was a janitor.
Right.
Yeah, he was a janitor.
That's why it's all funny.
I
And then he
get it.
said something like,
Not you, Fred.
"Not yeah." That was awesome.
He's like, what? Wes was like, what'd you say to me? He's like, not you, Fred.
Yeah.
He went back in the office.
So yeah.
Yeah. All right.
So I don't get to tell you who my favorite character is.
Go ahead.
Oh,
Damn.
sorry.
Matt, did you want to talk about some characters?
Not really.
Favorite?
No.
Doesn't have to be favorite,
Yeah.
worst.
You can
just
talk about in
characters.
general. It's a very open conversation now.
No. I
Better
thought we
go
were
Things
to
have
him
changed.
first.
I think we're taking turns, but I guess not.
Things have changed since you left.
I like Dewey. I
Yeah.
like Dewey for the comedic value. Dylan said this movie, just the simplicity of him.
Yeah.
He's just this brand new deputy.
Whip behind the ears,
But he's,
dude,
but
yeah.
he just was living at his mom's house.
Yeah.
He had the best lines.
Now
By far,
he's
he had the best.
now
lines.
he's trying to put on his big boy pants and you can't fucking talk to me
Yeah, it's
like
like-
that. His whole character, I just plus I love David Arquette too.
Yeah.
I love him. I think he's great.
He's like a great character actor.
Yeah, it's sort of borderline of the same character almost. But no, I love him. I think he's great.
Dewey had me rolling when I think Ghostface calls Sydney when she's spending the night at the Riley's household. And she just gets off the phone with him. She walks in the other room, and Dewey's out there with his gun, and he just walks to the phone. He's like, hello? And it's just, it's hung up, dude. What are you fucking doing? I was dying. I was like, Dewey, you're the best.
Yeah.
And also when he is eating the ice cream.
Yeah.
When he's having the sheriff conversation, and he's just like, the one guy smoking, he's just like eating a pink ice cream cone.
It's great. I love Dewey.
Yeah,
Dewey's
Dewey's
the
really
best.
good. But yeah, Carrie, you're 1,000% right as far as like, there's no bad characters.
Right.
Yeah.
Even the asshole characters like Billy, like he played such a sleazeball, like great. Even with his greasy fucking disgusting hair, like he was a great little shit teenager that turned into a serial killer. But all the characters are great. You guys ready to move on into dialogue?
Let's do it.
Let's do it. Carrie.
Oh my gosh,
dialogue?
with me. So one of my favorite scenes is when Randy is watching Halloween and he's by himself and he's yelling. He's like, "Jamie, look behind you! Look, his name's Jamie. That's why it's extra funny."
Jamie Kennedy.
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah, it's Jamie Kennedy. So it's so funny to me that like he is just yelling at himself, and Ghostface is there,
Right there.
and he's like, "Jamie, look behind you, and his name is Jamie. So I love that. It is extremely difficult because to pick stuff out because they're again watching it this morning, like just picking out little things like here and there, because the dialogue is just what makes the film like so great in this. Because sometimes we're just like, oh, wasn't that great, but like everything hits in here. So all the Ghostface conversations. I did at the end when we do our loose ends, we could talk about all the movie references that they do, but yeah, I mean, if you just want me to talk about one, okay, because I could talk about the whole movie.
That's
fine. Know, I love that one. Every time it comes on, it just makes me smile. But
yeah. What about you, Dylan?
I like the one. Let's Dewey when he's walking up the steps after Gale says, I'm big with the 12 to 24.
Yeah.
She knows he's 25, and he turns around and says, "I was 24 for a whole year." I was like,
what a smooth, weird line.
Yep. With his little mustache.
Yeah, Dewey had great lines.
Yeah.
I agree.
You can tell like he's a fresh deputy. So.
Yeah. I also like that David Arquette and Courtney Cox, like their whole relationship and love began on this set on this movie, and it's cool. Like you can see like a connection between their characters.
Yeah.
And in that moment, like it was just like the way she was looking at him, I was like, "That's how Carrie looks at me."
Aww.
With her blue eyes.
Annoyed?
Her dark hair and blue eyes.
You're my Dewey.
Yeah. But yeah, Matt, any dialogue you want to talk about?
I do. It's just when Sydney's sleeping over with Tatum, and Tatum's giving her brother Dewey some shit.
Yeah.
And he's like, "What did Mom tell you? When I wear this badge, you treat me like a man of the law." I cracked up.
But
at
his voice was like cracking in that moment too, because like,
"Hey, you can't talk to me like that. Mom said."
Yeah, Mom said.
Mom said. Does Mom know?
And he does it in the.
He does it a couple times. My mom. Something about.
He does it in the police station though, which is the best because all of his coworkers are there, and they're just like you hear guys giggling in the background.
When she's giving him shit.
Yeah,
in the
she's
station.
like, we need to leave. We're going home. He's like, what did I tell you?
Oh,
yeah.
When he
So
tells
good.
her, "Don't talk to the witness," he's like, "Get the hell out of here."
Yeah, that was mine.
No, that's good. Dialogue great. Kevin Williamson killed it.
Yeah, the whole script. Yep.
But I actually, there are two lines by Tatum that I absolutely loved.
Okay.
So Tatum was not one of the big horror fans, but she knew enough that it was hilarious. So the one scene was where she was talking to Sydney about maybe Cotton Weary is innocent. Maybe the killer's still out there. And when Sydney said that, Tatum said, "Don't go there, Sid. You're starting to sound like a Wes Carpenter flick or something." I was like, oh, that's perfect for a girl who's hanging out with people who are probably referencing this stuff all the time. She got two names right, but mixed them up all
Mixed
wrong.
them together. Yep.
And then the other line that Tatum had that had me rolling as well, which shows me that maybe she knew a little bit more than what she let on. But when Ghostface trapped her in the garage, and she said to Ghostface, she said, "What is this from? I spit on your garage." Which I spit on your grave is an older school like legendary type of film.
Yeah.
But her to just say "I spit on your garage" is fucking funny as hell.
Mm-hmm.
But I love Tatum's dialogue. I thought she was a ton of fun, and I thought those moments were really good.
Was she the first one who called him Ghostface
Yeah.
in that scene too? Doesn't she say, "Please don't kill me, Mr.
Mr. Ghostface.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
Mr. Ghostface.
in the police department, when they had the mask, I think the Halloween store package said Father Death on it.
Father Death. Yeah.
So I didn't look into credits. Did they reference Ghostface in the credits? Like where
they referenced the costume, and we saw that, and then they had to. It was in. Who's the guy that does the death count thing?
Dead Meat
Dead Meat.
podcast.
Yeah.
Kill count. He does a kill count.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He said that they had to pay them $100, and they had to say that the costume was from them.
Oh yeah.
And the
Fun times.
yeah.
Say $100.
$100
Yeah.
to use the costume.
Yeah.
This is very weird.
I know.
Yeah.
And they just had to give him credit during the credits and give a shout out to him. So
Go big, man.
I know.
$100.
Well, they didn't know.
yeah, they had no
There was-
idea.
Yeah. All right, let's move on into favorite kills or scares. So Carrie, what's your favorite kill or scare?
I mean, mine's the whole opening scene.
Yeah, the whole opening, the Casey
Yeah.
scene. Yeah.
I think it's, like I said at the beginning, I think it's just because, and I don't like paranormal, like that type of stuff. So, like,
Ghost stuff.
and usually, and this is why Scream, I guess, is a little weird too, because I don't like real horror.
Yeah,
That seem
realistic
real.
horror.
And this
Yeah.
is very realistic horror.
Could
I
very
guess
well
I didn't
happen.
hang out with these people in high school, and that's why it doesn't scare me that much. But just the realness and the rawness of her parents, like I said earlier,
Yeah.
like their reactions and them being there, and Drew Barrymore is just so good in this role. Just the whole game that Ghostface played with her,
Yeah.
the playfulness to the switch of like, I'm gonna gut you like a fish, and how that whole just like changed how then she was reacting to him.
I think if he would have played his
know.
cards right, he might have had a date.
Oh.
I know,
Think.
because initially
Because she's like, no, and then all of a sudden she's like,
Mm-hmm.
okay,
yeah.
what?
Initially, she said she did not have a boyfriend,
Yeah.
Mhm.
and then
Yeah.
when
So
things
she was
turned
ready
up,
to cheat.
I know when things turned up, she's like, my boyfriend's gonna be here any minute. It's
Yeah.
like
Oh.
I thought you didn't have a boyfriend. I lied. Yeah, you did.
Well, you can tell she's not a virgin, so that's why she died, I guess.
That's true.
Mhm.
That is a rule. That is
Yeah.
a rule. Yeah.
Yeah, but there's just such a, like I said, just a realness, and when her mom sees her and just the gore. I know, like, we've read too that it is gorier than what we see on the rated R version,
Yeah.
and that they cut a lot of it, so it is a little bit more even gorier. Like
Mhm.
when Steve's
Yeah.
insides
Yeah.
come out,
They fall
and
out,
stuff.
but
Yep.
they couldn't show all that.
Yeah,
They
so
didn't
it's
want
like
to show
scary to me, but still not enough to like make me hide my face or
Yeah.
not want to watch it.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, that's interesting. So they didn't. So I mean, you could hear him,
Yeah.
her boyfriend, getting cut,
Mhm.
but you don't see it. So there is
Yeah.
actual.
The extra part of that scene, you don't see him getting cut up, but when the lights turn on, you see his guts fall out of his lap and down to the floor.
Okay.
So it's
Mhm.
Okay.
it's a more grotesque moment, but
Yeah.
you still don't see the act of him getting diced up and
Mhm.
Right.
everything. But
Mhm.
yeah, good choice, Carrie.
It's just so.
It
yeah,
is.
it's
It
good.
is. All right, Dylan. What about you? You got a favorite kill?
Well, the best kill is the beginning scene.
Yeah,
by
Casey's
far.
so good.
Yeah, just because
Yeah.
it's the most intense
Yeah.
by far.
Yeah. Like I said in the beginning of the film, beginning of this podcast, it is like a tiny short like horror film
Yeah.
within this film. So yeah,
Well, it does keep you engaged because when she's trying to get away, and then they finally get to her, and the parents are just there. It's a matter of 15 seconds would have made a whole difference of this
Yeah.
movie.
Yeah, and most of the times, like at that point, you think she's gonna get away,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Like she's gonna survive. Like she just gets that one stab. You think her parents are coming up, they're gonna save her, and they
Yeah.
don't.
Come on,
No, and
Dad.
then
She can't.
she's holding the phone and
Pedal
just
to the
dragging
metal,
her over to
dick.
the tree.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, oh man.
What a good scene. Nice. What about you, Matt?
I mean, it's the same.
Is
It's
it-
the same.
everyone loves
thing.
Casey's?
I mean, it's
Yeah.
just because multiple different scenes. I mean, those were the big killing moments. I mean, her boyfriend, and then her hanging in the tree with her guts out and all that stuff.
That
I
scene
mean,
too.
yeah. I mean, it definitely looked like a dummy.
Yeah, but I
It
love.
was a dummy.
Yeah.
But I
It's like-
love the detail to that moment because as it's zooming in, you see steam like
Yeah.
rising off of her entrails, which is like, you know,
Yeah.
a thing that would happen.
Sure.
So,
But I feel. I mean, there's other kills, but like, you know, Tatum's was funny.
it was.
I mean,
it was
ridiculous, but funny.
It was like a Final Destination almost
Yeah,
kill,
exactly,
where it's like
exactly.
this normal life, everyday thing is
She
all of a
gets
sudden
stuck in the
like. I'm lucky if my garage door will even open if anything is near the sensor, let alone lifting a human being.
Yeah.
But I love that part so much, and it's actually pretty like it's a rough scene. Like you see the dummy get squashed in the ceiling of the garage. So it's a good scene. I like that scene a lot too. But I'm gonna shout out 2 other kills, and they're not necessarily the best, but I think the writing of them is really cool. Like when Principal Himbry gets stabbed. It's a very low grade gore moment in the movie, but at the end after he's killed, the reflection in his eyes when Ghostface looks at him, and it's just like the Ghostface mask reflection in his eyes. I thought that was fucking cool looking with the music playing, with the score in the back.
Yeah,
I thought that was a really awesome put together moment for such a kill that was just kind of like, oh, we're appeasing probably just a kill count for this movie.
Well, they added it in because there hadn't been a kill in like 30 minutes.
Okay.
So they did the add-in
for the principal
of the principal.
Okay.
Because of that, and then they tied that back, I think, to get the other kids out of the house.
Which was, it's great how they did tie in like things that maybe you didn't think were a big deal, but then like, oh, it's a catalyst for a moment to happen to kick this story along. So
yeah,
I thought that part of Principal Himbry's death was really, really cool. Just that reflection in his eyes. But then also Kenny's throat slit. What kicked it all off was the fact that there was a 30-second delay, and they were watching Randy about to be stabbed, and he completely forgot about the 30-second delay, jumps out of the van, realizes, and is like, oh shit, we're on a 30-second delay. He turns back. It's too late. He didn't know he left because of that, and now he's getting his throat slit. So also a pretty rough moment. I mean, we see the cut and then the blood coming out. And then what a hero, Kenny. With his last dying breath, he looks at Sydney, points to the back of the van, and says, door. Like, Kenny, what a hero.
Yeah.
And his dying breath did everything he did to help Sydney along.
Yeah.
So, Kenny,
He's a
unsung
fat,
hero.
What was he? A fat piece
of lard or whatever.
Yeah.
Gale.
She was so nice to him.
She was very nice to him.
What a great coworker.
Yeah. But yeah, so those 2 kills, I thought, though not the big kills in this movie, and everyone talks about Casey and then Tatum's, but those 2 kills, they had moments that I thought were really cool with them. All right, so with that, guys, next up, Final Cut. And this is where I reveal the ending of the film, and we give our ratings of 1 to 5 stabs. 1 stab, no redeeming value. 2 stabs, bad. 3 stabs, mediocre. 4 stabs, good. 5 stabs, masterpiece. I would say spoiler alert, but I mean, we kind of spoiled earlier.
If you haven't seen Scream, too bad.
Yeah. Come on.
Get with it.
Get with the times. All right. The crowd starts vacating Stu's beautiful family home after Randy announces Principal Himbry has been gutted and is hanging from the goalpost on the football field. Upstairs, Sydney and Billy have just finished consummating their relationship when Ghostface appears and slices Billy up. A chase ensues with Sydney falling from the roof onto a covered boat, and she then finds Tatum's body hanging from the raised garage door. She rushes to the news van for help, and with Kenny inside, they see Ghostface ready to attack Randy. Forgetting about the 30-second delay, Kenny rushes outside and gets his throat slashed. Time for Sydney to be chased again. Gale shows back up and jumps in the van, but finds it covered in blood and Kenny's body on the roof. She goes to drive off, but almost hits Sydney and crashes the car. Running back to the house, Sydney sees Dewey stumble out onto the porch with a knife stuck in his back. Ghostface emerges, and it's time for another chase. Eventually, she makes her way back to the house just as Stu and Randy come running up and blaming each other for the murders. Sydney tells him, "Fuck you both," and locks them out. Billy then comes out and tumbles down the stairs. Sydney rushes to his aid, and as he gains his strength, takes the gun from her and lets Randy inside the house. Billy then shoots Randy and reveals that his wounds are fake, just as Stu shows up with the voice changer. Dun, dun, dun. 2 killers. The 2 start tormenting Sydney and confess they framed Cotton Weary and killed Sydney's mom. Billy explains that Sydney's mom, Miss Maureen Prescott, was screwing his father, thus causing his mother to abandon him. Stu pulls Sidney's dad from the closet, and they reveal their plan to frame Mr. Prescott for the slayings, complete with giving each other stab wounds. Stu goes to grab the gun but finds it missing, and Gale appears from around the corner with a gun, but Billy overpowers her and knocks her out. Sidney uses this distraction as an opportunity to escape. The phone rings and Billy picks it up. It's Sidney. She flipped the script on the boys and has a voice changer and has called the police. Billy goes searching for her and she pops out of the closet and stabs him with an umbrella. Stu attacks her, but she manages to drop a TV on his head. After we find Randy is still alive, Billy punches him in the face and attacks Sidney again. But just as he is about to stab her, Gale shoots him in the chest. Gale, Randy, and Sidney walk over to Billy's body. He lunges at Sid as she puts one last bullet in his head. Mr. Prescott has the last jump scare as he comes crashing out of the closet and is quickly attended to by his daughter. In the morning, we get a Gale Weathers news report of the happenings of the night before as we see the sun rising over the mountains. The end. What do you think of the ending? Carrie, tell me your thoughts on the ending of the movie.
Thoughts. And now,
I don't know what to
deep
say.
thoughts.
Oh,
You know-
man. I thought it was good. I like it was very action packed. It had a lot of back and forth. It still kept the script of the comedy
Yeah.
and all of that going throughout it. Matthew Lillard's performance as Stu, and this is probably my best favorite of
Yeah.
him throughout the whole entire movie.
Mhm.
When he's like, "Did you call the cops?" and she's like, "Yeah." And he's like, "My parents are gonna be so mad."
Yeah.
It's so
So
good.
good.
I think I wrote that one down. as
Yeah,
one
it's
of
a
the-
good one.
of
Oh,
the
that was so
lines.
good, yeah.
Yep.
Did you
What
really
did
call the cops?
It's
What did
so
he say?
good.
Oh, my mom and dad are gonna be so mad at me.
He's just covered in
Come
blood
on,
and
buddy.
dying.
Yeah.
There's like 10 dead bodies in his house. Yeah. Dylan, what do you think of the ending of the film?
It brought it all together, and
Yeah.
and them explaining it, what their reasoning was for, because for
Harsh, but okay.
for
Well-
2/3 of the movie, you're like, what? Why are they even
What
doing
is
this?
the
Like, what's the
point?
point of the killings?
Mm-hmm.
I think that brings it together, and then find out there's two of them.
Yeah.
It makes more sense, and then you want to watch it again to figure out which one's doing which.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So-
Yeah.
And then like it explains a lot of the things of how could they do that? How'd they get, the cameraman's body up on the top of the van?
It was probably a
The
two-man job.
Dude's 250, 300 pounds.
He's a
It's
tub of lard.
Yeah.
Poor fella.
Yeah.
And then I thought that brought it together and made everything make more sense. It makes you want to watch it again.
Yeah.
Which is, I think, a good thing for movies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
put the hooks in you.
Yeah. You want to go back and be like, you want to see the puzzle pieces again. Yeah.
Yeah.
What about you?
So in the words of our beloved Shelley, she would always say it ties it up in a nice little bow.
Oh,
Yeah.
So yes, I think that this movie, the ending definitely ties it up in a nice little bow, a loose bow,
Yeah.
because we get the sequels and stuff. But this is, again, so going in that direction too. What a great movie to make multiple sequels with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great characters, all that kind of stuff. So I think they did a really good job at the ending.
And that's the good thing about this villain's persona is that it isn't the persona is not the mask. It's whoever is wearing it.
Right.
So you can this could go on until the day we die.
Well, that's like what Dylan said too. I mean, it explains a lot of stuff too. Like, what was the whole point instead of
Yeah.
just like arbitrary,
like a motive.
fucking yeah, right.
Yeah.
Just some
Yeah.
arbitrary character just killing people for no reason. So
Yeah.
so yeah,
And I even like with the two killers, we do get two different types of motives. Like we get Billy, who has the trauma with his mom leaving him because his dad was fucking Sydney's mom. But then we also get Stu, who's just in it for the fun ride. Like he's in it for the peer pressure. And then
Do you think he was in love with Billy?
I think there might have been something there. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think there could have been.
Yeah.
That's a conversation for sure. One to put his lips on Billy's neck. All right, so let's move on into our stabs. Carrie, what do you give this?
5 out of 5.
Don't say.
5
You
out of
don't
5
say five
stabby
stabbies.
stabs.
Yeah.
I will watch this anytime anybody wants to watch a movie. I'm always constantly like, are we sure Ian can't watch this?
Yeah.
I can't wait till Ian can watch it.
Yeah.
I will watch the sequels. I was glad when you watched the sequels with me.
Yeah.
We still haven't watched the last one. I kind of toggle back and forth because it's like weird that it's like New York and like,
it's
I don't
not
know.
in Woodsboro. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
So we'll see. It's on our wheel that
It
we
is.
have. But yeah, I'll watch this anytime. I mean, I have tons of Ghostface memorabilia. I have Ghostface Mickey Mouse memorabilia that I wear to Disney.
Yeah.
You know, it is just fun. And even just watching it the last couple weeks, like just seeing different new stuff in it.
No matter what level of a fan of this movie you are, like the more you watch it, you're gonna like, unless you're sitting there like as a report for a podcast, like you're gonna catch things every single time, especially if, you know, you're a fan of other horror films, you'll catch references to it. So yeah.
And one day Ian will be Ghostface for Halloween, and it'll make me so happy.
One day.
It's pretty damn close to it already. Just a different mask.
He promised me. Remember,
Right?
he promised me.
Yeah.
Going back on it.
Didn't do it.
All right, Dylan. What about you? Stabs.
4 out of 5.
4 out of 5.
Yeah, 4 out of 5. Just because the beginning, you know, murder was pretty
good.
intense, and then it just kind of tapered off.
Yeah.
After that, but that's it. I thought it was all well put together and and kept you interested. That's for sure.
Yeah. I think that's a strong stab for, you know, I don't think you would consider yourself a horror fan. You like movies. You watch all kinds of movies.
Yep.
But you're not hungry for the horror. So horror. So that's a strong rating.
I'll take it.
We shall take it. What up, Matt? What about you?
Fives all the way.
Yeah.
All the way. The nostalgic of the movie, like I said, if anything can put me in there, and again too with you know, it's a comedy. It's comedy horror. I mean, and I love it. And if you do it right, it also doesn't take much for me to laugh at, you know, at shit. So I mean, Tammy and the T-Rex was one of my favorite movies.
Yeah.
And when everyone else was like, this is the dumbest fucking movie. But I'm like, I love it. It's so good. How can you not? So
for reals, we got to do Wolf Cop.
Oh, yeah, we're doing Wolf Cop.
And have Dylan watch it.
Yes.
We got to do Wolf Cop.
I already know what
Please.
that movie is.
Oh, yeah, you're going to watch it and love it.
I remember that from years ago.
I started watching it, and I'm like, oh, shit.
That's funny.
I think Maddie started watching it, too.
Oh, she watched it?
She watched part of it.
Oh. Maddie's into some cool flicks.
Awesome. So, yeah, I gave it a 5. How about you, Derek?
Yeah, it's an awesome, fun time movie. It's a fucking 5 stabs.
Yeah.
It's so good. It's a fun slasher flick. It revitalized slasher films. I mean, the 80s was absolutely just beating slashers over the heads of the American public. A podcast that I love, Gagging with the Chainsaw, they go through all these 80s slasher flicks. So there's a ton of terrible slashers. So the genre has been beaten like a dead horse. And this came out with a different perspective and just its meta-ness of holding up that mirror to the genre, I think was very smart, and it brought back slashers to the horror audience, and I love it. Like I said, it's all because of Carrie. Her affinity for the movies brought me back to it a couple years ago, and it clicked then when like it didn't click when I was, you know, we were teenagers and rented it. So it's a 5 stab for sure. Love this movie.
And what
it's
a
great.
good movie for Wes. Like you know, New Nightmare. It seems like they kind of tried to do this with New Nightmare and it failed. This like universe, I guess, of like the characters knowing stuff, and you know, it flopped, and then he got this, and you know, him and Kevin Williamson like just knocked it out of the park for sure. So
I think one of the contributing factors to him signing on was Drew being signed on, because she signed on early, and the fact that Drew signed on, Wes was like, okay, let's do it. So great.
I just can't picture her as Sydney. I'm really glad that it like didn't end up that way. But.
Yeah, I agree. All right, you ready to move on into Voices from Beyond? And this is where we go through our social media platforms and share your guys' thoughts. So today, Carrie, you're going to take it for us.
I'm going to take it away.
You're going to take Shelly's role.
Yep. So Matt F. said, just rewatch this after almost 30 years. WTF. I forgot just how awesome of a movie this is. It hits the ground running and never really stops or stalls. Shows just how much of a master Wes Craven is, and also how good of a writer Kevin Williamson is, as the script is amazing! ! filled with great one-liners. My name is not Jesus, and my mom and dad are going to be so mad at me, to name a couple. I can't wait to see what the wheel gives us next.
Thanks, Matt.
Thank you, Matt. Great name, by the way.
My girl Lisa C. What up, girl?
Back again.
Back again, Lisa. Back again. Good.
Hands down, one of the best horror movies. This and number 2 are the best ones. After those, I barely acknowledge the rest.
Oh.
It's a solid story plot, great kills, great jump scares, a little hit of comedy. I'm going to do it, guys. It's the first one this season, and it might be the only one, but this is a 5-star rating
boy.
for
Lisa.
me.
Oh, boy.
Yes.
It's a big stab.
Yes.
Big
She
stabby
done did it.
stabs.
She done did it.
She ripped the Band-Aid off.
Brian M. wrote a book.
Oh, yes.
So
This is
Brian.
good.
thank you so much, Brian. I'm going to try my best to read this.
You can paraphrase.
Uh,
I'm kidding.
5 stabs all day. Scream pretty much revitalized the horror genre. A perfect mix of scares, humor, parody, gore, and mystery, plus one of the best opening sequences of possibly any movie, regardless of genre. Wow. All the characters are distinct and get fully developed over the course of the movie, and Randy is definitely the best. One of my favorite memories of watching this was during a high school marching band trip. I was on the bus with the cool chaperones, so they let us put on my videotape.
Ooh.
We had to leave early, so it was still dark out. I was sitting in the back of the bus, and as the movie started, I put on my ghost face mask.
Oh.
I was able to basically pop up and scare someone every time the killer popped up. It was
that's
dark
funny.
when the people in front turned around. They just thought the person I'd scared was just reacting to the movie.
Oh, he was
I
timing
love
it. Yeah.
this. I was able to make it all the
commitment
way
right
to the
there.
front of the bus by the end of the opening. The movie is definitely a time capsule, but it didn't take away any of the enjoyment. The last time I watched it a few years ago, the sequels have been mostly enjoyable as well, but they never come close to the original. The only negative I have, which isn't with the actual movie, is that this started the trend of all the Miramax movies having really lazy posters. You sound like Derek.
Oh.
And video box art where it was a bunch of random headshots slapped together with the logo.
Yeah.
For F's sake, Skeet Ulrich doesn't have a goatee in the movie.
That is funny, yeah.
That's very
You
true.
see that in the poster?
Thankfully, when I got the video for Christmas, my mom got me the special edition Drew Barrymore cover.
Ooh, that's cool.
And he put a picture in here, which is
Oh, we'll
really,
share
really
it.
cool.
Yeah, we'll share that.
So thank you, Brian M, for that.
Wow,
and
Brian.
then
That's awesome.
Let
Thanks
me
for
go to
sharing.
hold on. Let me go to Instagram. Oh, Ray. Hi, Ray. I don't know. I'm acting like
Ray
I
M.
know Ray. Hi,
Ray
Ray.
M.
Ray,
M.
what's up?
Peak now 90s nostalgia horror movie. Great from start to finish. One of the best opening scenes that will always be remembered. When I first saw it, I thought the Fonz was the killer. The way
Ooh,
he
the
handed
principal.
those scissors.
Yes, that's true.
Yep.
Another red herring.
Yep,
There you go.
very good.
Yeah.
4.5 out of 5 stabs. Thanks, Ray M.
Was Ray M the guy? I'm sorry, Carrie. Was Ray M the guy that bought a onesie for
Yeah.
his?
Yes,
Yeah.
that's Ray. And
Yeah.
he posted a picture of his little girl
Yeah.
in our little bracket of
That's
horrors.
awesome.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Sorry, Carrie.
And then we also we had a Voices from Beyond from the Tiki Talks, and it was from Mary 420.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mary,
get it.
that's probably her birthday.
It's her favorite day.
Yeah. But Mary 420 said, "I love Ghostface."
I love Ghostface
Period.
too.
Yeah, a lot of
Thank
people
you.
do. For anybody listening out there, if you have a paragraph or 5 to share with us, we'll read it. If you have one line, we'll also read that. So,
Yep.
anyways, Carrie,
Yeah, and
any other
our
ones?
last Voices from Beyond comes from Jeremy W., also known as Jer Bear.
Hey,
JC.
he's the 4th W.
This is a good one, very well written, and the actors were amazing. It is a good pick, Wheel of Death. Say 4 stabby stabs. Love you guys. Keep it up. Hope to hear more and more from you guys. Big hugs.
Aw, thanks,
nice.
Jeremy.
Right back at you, buddy.
Everyone tell your brother you love him.
Yeah. Hugs.
Dylan.
What?
Hug your brother.
Hug my brother.
But thank you for Voices from Beyond.
Yes.
Appreciate them and keep them coming.
Let's move on into our new segment called Loose Ends. And this is just a catch-all segment where we talk about fun facts or any additional thoughts we may have. So, Carrie, you look wide-eyed and
I
bushy-tailed
have
and ready to
so much fun
give
stuff
us
for
some
us
stuff.
to do. And I'm-
Dylan,
Are you gonna start with Carrie or end with Carrie? I think end with her.
okay, you can end with me.
you don't have to have
Do you
anything
have
for this.
something?
Do you
No, I
have
just-
anything for loose ends?
I didn't know if you talked about the dumbest death
Oh, go ahead.
what was
Go
the
ahead.
dumbest?
I thought it was the garage door death. That's
yeah,
okay.
it's not
Yeah.
realistic.
Oh, yeah.
Super realistic.
Of everything else that could
Here's
have
the
happened, that was the thing. It's like that can't happen.
Here's
But the
problem.
lead up to that is so good. Her playing with Ghostface is really
Yeah.
good. It's
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
the way she died.
This
yeah.
is part of the problem why Dylan does not like horror movies because it's not realistic. Like that can't happen.
Yeah.
Well, they
That's
didn't
not-
have any dogs.
Yeah, there were no
Right,
dogs.
well,
in the
that's
movie.
what I mean. Like,
Yeah.
where's the practicality?
There's
Practicality
not a
in
dog
this movie?
running around this whole place.
I didn't see anyone go get their mail. This movie's bullshit.
Yeah. I did. I
And they
saw
had
one
no,
car.
no self-defense skills against this knife-wielding guy.
Sydney was kicking his ass. Everyone was kicking their ass.
Tatum
Well, she
did
came
too.
Tatum
to.
was
She
too.
came to when he was going to stab her.
Yeah.
That's when she kicked him.
Yeah, and good thing Gale was there at the end to shoot him in the chest. Otherwise, Sydney could have got poked. So, yeah. All right, fair enough. I'll allow it with your.
I'll allow it.
That was it.
Carrie, what do you got? I know you got some stuff.
Does anybody know Randy's 4 horror movie rules, aka Randy's rules?
Yes. Why don't
Oh.
we want to test Matt and Dylan?
Yeah, let's see if we can
Yeah.
remember.
Yeah.
Number 1. Raise your hand if you want to guess it.
I'll guess.
Okay,
Okay.
go ahead.
You can't kill a virgin,
Okay.
right? Is that
Close,
number one?
very close. Yeah,
Yeah.
you,
All right,
you can
and
never
then-
have sex.
Okay.
You can't
Is
have
number
sex.
1. Number
No
2.
sex. Yeah.
Oh, what were the other one? And number 2 would be you don't go outside alone. Is that one?
Don't run up
It's-
the stairs.
That's
No,
not one
it's-
of Randy's rules.
Don't go down the stairs.
Don't look at the stairs.
Don't stay in your bed under the blankets.
Don't
I think is
vacuum.
what it.
It's an
It's-
action. It's something you and Matt did today.
Yeah.
What do we do today?
Go to church.
Got a shower. Don't get a shower. Yeah.
You can
Don't-
never go to
What are you
church.
talking about?
Don't go to church.
Rule
Drive.
number 2. Never go to
Drinking.
Yeah.
No drinking.
No drink-
Oh,
no
no
drinking,
drinking
or
no
drugs.
drugs.
No drinking or drugs. No
that
sex.
goes with the virginity thing. It's a morality thing.
Yep.
Yeah.
So no being cool.
And,
And
then,
then
Oh.
you were. What was the one you said? Don't go outside in the dark or something.
Yeah, something like that.
Sort of like that. It's close.
well, you never want to
It's an
say
action.
something. You
Yeah.
never, ever, ever want to say
Who's
this
there?
one saying.
Who's there?
What would you say if you were going outside?
I'm
To a
going
group-
outside
to a group of people.
to announce it to make sure.
Oh.
everybody- I'm going
I'll
outside.
be right back. Don't
there
ever
you
say
go.
that.
Yeah.
Boom.
Yeah.
Dylan.
Oh.
Dylan, you got it.
And then
Yeah.
at the end, what did they make sure with Billy? You can never
Yeah.
assume what.
Somebody's
Oh,
dead.
that they're dead.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Unless
You gotta,
put a
you gotta
bullet,
Jumps up
stomp,
for
you
one
gotta
last.
stomp on
Yep.
their face.
put a
right.
bullet in his forehead.
Yeah. So rule number 1 is you can never have sex. Rule number 2 is you can never drink or do drugs. Rule number 3 is never, ever,
Never.
ever,
Ever,
under
never.
any circumstances say, "I'll be right back." And number 4
got
is don't ever, 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 under any circumstances, assume the killer is dead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's gonna pop up for that
And
last
5,
scare.
Yeah.
we don't talk
Yep.
about Fight Club.
5 is don't look at the stairs.
Don't look at the sun.
Don't go up. Don't go down. Don't
Don't
look
go
at the
down.
stairs.
If you have stairs, don't go up or down.
Block them. Block the stairs.
Put a child gate up.
And I know we didn't overly get into it when we talked about the dialogue, but I just wanted to mention a lot of the movies that they did
Yeah.
reference because there were so many of them. So obviously Halloween, they were
that final scene.
watching Halloween. A Nightmare on Elm Street. Again, you had the cameo.
Yeah. with,
You had the beginning where she talked about the movie with the guys that had knives for fingers.
mhm.
And then Casey brought up that she, liked the first one but didn't like the rest. There's a reference to Carrie, the corn syrup with Billy. He
Yeah.
said that it's the same that they use for the pig's
tasty.
blood for
Yeah.
Carrie.
Num nums.
Psycho, Billy
Psycho Billy,
again.
yeah.
He referenced that.
Billy
When
had
a-
a lot of references.
He did.
Yeah.
When a stranger calls, so the whole
Mhm.
opening scene is a reference
Yeah.
to that movie.
Mm-hmm.
They mentioned Friday the 13th again. Who's the killer? The Exorcist, which is
I
the
know.
weirdest part. I was
What-
sitting at home watching The Exorcist, and I thought about you. Thanks.
That's a good line to say to your girlfriend.
Yeah.
Very.
When you're trying to get into her panties.
Very sweet.
Weirdos.
The
Nice.
Howling. The girl at the video store asked about the werewolf movie. Prom night comes into play, and then
Very simple formula.
there's the whole Jamie Lee Curtis is in the fog, the terror train,
Terror Train.
and prom night, and they are picking the movie what to watch.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Texas Chainsaw Massacre. When Randy says, "What's Leatherface,
Leatherface
doing here?"
Yeah.
Like you said, Tatum references I spit on your grave, but says I spit on your garage.
I love that
Instead of
line.
I spit on your grave. I've never seen this before. The town that dreaded sundown.
Yes, I've seen. Yeah, I've seen it.
Sydney referenced that movie.
It was another movie with a curfew.
The
Town
Bad
had a curfew.
Seed.
Bad Seed, yeah.
Sydney references that, and then there's a lot. Silence of the Lambs.
Yep.
They
Billy
reference
again.
That Billy. Yep. Again. Frankenstein is on in the video rental store in the background.
I didn't catch that. Frankenstein's in the video store.
Yep.
Nice. Got anything else, Carrie?
Then I just want to talk about the death.
Okay.
Oh, we're doing death count.
I think we could do like a whole week of this
Yeah, I
movie
know.
with Carrie.
So, couple loose ends things. But the first thing is one of the funniest things in this movie is I was asking myself in a couple moments, who are these teenagers? Like, not necessarily this group, but everybody else. Like, their schoolmates are being murdered, and for fun, they're wearing the killer's mask and running around, and everybody's enjoying it. Everyone's like, woo, yeah. It's like, who the fuck are these kids? And then when they find out at the end that Principal Hembry is butchered in the football field, the rest of the kids get all excited and they want to go find a mutilated body. You know, it's just I thought that was funny that these teenagers are just from outer space.
They don't have anxiety or a fear of death, I guess.
Nope.
Exactly. Cameo, Linda Blair. Did you catch the Linda Blair cameo?
Mm-mm.
She was the reporter when Sydney came back to school after being attacked.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah, that is right.
Yeah,
You
and
are
she
right. Yep.
asked her, how does it feel to be almost brutally butchered? And Dewey was like holding her up, but that was Linda Blair. So I got some interesting facts. Did anyone
Fun
else?
facts.
Fun facts. I'm going to do some fun facts if anyone else.
Fun fact.
Did you have anything, Matt?
Nope.
Okay. All right. So with Kevin Williamson writing this script, one night while house sitting for a friend, he watched a special on the Gainesville Ripper, and it gave birth to what would soon be Scream. But the Gainesville Ripper, who is Daniel Rowling, was an American serial killer who murdered 5 college students in Gainesville over 4 days in August of 1990. Rowling's motives for the killing was to become a superstar like Ted Bundy. So that was the inspiration for Kevin Williamson to do this script. But in the final party scene, which lasted 42 minutes, it took 21 days to shoot. And at the end, the shooting crew made shirts that said, "I survived scene 118." So for that 42 minutes, 21 days to shoot that party scene.
Yep.
I thought that was crazy. But at the end of the credits under special thanks, there was a note reading, "No thanks whatsoever to Santa Rosa City Council District Governing Board. This was because the high school was supposed to serve as a shooting location for the Woodsboro High School, but they pulled out close to the shooting date because of the film's violent nature." So they were not ecstatic with the school board on that. But just my last little fun fact.
Fun facts.
In the movie, Randy mentions to Sydney that Jamie Lee Curtis was nominated for an award for her work in Terror Train. Coincidentally, Neve Campbell would end up winning that same award, which was the Saturn Award for Scream in 1997. So the award that he referenced in the movie, Neve would win for
Awesome.
that exact movie. So
Cool.
those are just some fun facts.
and
then-
you can rent the house.
Yeah, I think
Stu's
it's an
house.
Airbnb.
It's an Airbnb.
Yeah.
I think like a lot of those houses, like in the horror
The
movie.
movie houses.
Yeah.
Well, when I went to see the Nightmare on Elm Street house, someone just purchased it like 2 years ago, and they were growing like bushes in front of it to block it. Like they're trying to like
They're trying to
they're
get away from
annoyed
it.
that they bought the Nightmare on Elm Street house. It's like, fuck you
You
guys.
think what you know what you signed up for. Yeah.
Carrie, didn't you have some more stuff?
Yeah,
us?
I just wanted to go through the murders really quick and get your guys' perspective
yeah,
on
see
who
who it
killed
is.
who.
Yeah.
So we obviously know who killed Stu and who killed Billy,
Uh-huh.
even though maybe Stu will come back at some point because
Ooh, that's what I want.
who really knows?
In some way, I want Stu
Who
to
really
come back.
knows?
Yeah.
So Steve,
Mm-hmm.
do you think he was killed by Billy or Stu?
Billy did it
Why do you think Billy killed Steve?
because it was a gut cut.
A
Okay.
gut
I
cut?
think that's a Billy style
Ooh.
to really scare because he's the more. I think he's the more sadistic one.
He was definitely
So
going
he
in.
wants to scare.
Yeah.
So he's like, I'm gonna gut cut and
He was going in on Stu.
He's more frantic.
He was very zealous with it.
He's very frantic.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
that's
I would
think.
actually, I'd agree with that also because what was it? Stu was saying that he was with Tatum that night. She said he was with him.
Do you think
that
Billy did all of the actions that night by himself? You don't think Stu was there?
night. I think
they were both there.
You
I think
they
they
were
were. I agree that they were both there.
Yeah.
both there.
So you think Stu was like in the background, like on the phone, like doing
Yeah,
the
I
voice
think
stuff? And
he was probably doing the voice stuff.
So do you think
and there was
Billy killed
communication.
Casey then too?
No, I think Stu killed Casey.
You think
Okay.
Stu killed Casey?
Just the way he ran,
Uh-huh.
chasing her, all like
Oh, yeah.
gangly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, that was Stu.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And plus,
But anytime
plus he likes
Ghostface
to
ran,
hold
it
the
was like
knife
that.
for an extra couple seconds to give him a little bit of a chance. It's like,
Yeah.
what's this guy doing?
Do you agree with that, Matt?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
anything gangly is you think is Lillard because he's
Okay.
tall and goofy.
Yeah. What about you, Carrie? What do you think?
I think that Billy killed Steve.
Okay.
Steven.
Steven.
And I
Worth.
believe that Billy and Stu both
Oh.
did Casey in.
To get her up in the tree.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
that's true. That
I
is a
think Billy
two-man
did the
job.
gut thing
Yeah.
again
Yeah.
to make sure and freak everybody out.
Yeah.
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 Okay.
The principal.
Principal. Okay.
Billy.
Why do you think it's Billy?
I think that anytime it's Stewart, it's goofy.
Mm.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think he's just more like precise, like in there, just get a job done.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Whereas Stewart likes to fuck around and he's
Mm.
just goofy.
Yeah.
Got it.
So any goofy kill, that's my answer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go to Dylan on this one. Let me think about it more.
I think it was Billy.
Yeah.
Billy.
It was more planned out.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm gonna make some noise, get in there, hide behind the door.
Mhm.
Whereas
And
Stu would just run in there all weird.
Yeah, he'd like jump. He'd like jump through the door or something.
Yeah. I'll go with Billy. Yeah.
Mhm. I
I
agree.
think- Again, he really likes those gut stabs, and he just went ham on him. So yeah,
Mhm.
I would say Billy.
Okay.
What about you?
No, I agree, Billy.
Oh, you
Yeah.
do say Billy.
Everybody
think-
says
I think-
Billy.
I think Billy is the gut
I think-
stab guy because
yeah.
he cut Stu deep. He cut me too
I know.
deep.
I'm feeling a little woozy
I'm
here.
feeling a little woozy, yeah.
woozy here, man.
I think I'm
Yeah.
dying.
Keep going back to Shaggy from
I know.
he was doing Scooby Doo.
All right. What about Tatum? Because I know this is the one I struggle with.
Billy.
Yeah,
Billy.
I think for logistics reasons.
Because like Stu's hosting the party.
Stu's in the party.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think he
Billy.
he sent her to the garage. So
Yeah.
I was like, he was setting it up. He's like, I'm
Uh-huh.
gonna get rid of her
Uh-huh.
because otherwise she's gonna help out
Yeah.
Sydney.
Sid.
So I got to get her out of the picture. So I'll send her to the garage and I'll go take care of her.
And
Oh,
after
you
that,
think Stu killed her?
Yeah, I think he did it.
Oh.
But after, because Billy wasn't at the party, and after Tatum's death, then Billy showed up at the party, because then him and Sid went upstairs, so he wasn't even accounted for at the party. So I think it's got to be Billy.
Okay.
That's my argument.
Billy.
Did I persuade you?
No.
No,
This
I'm
one
gonna-
I struggle
No.
with because
Yeah.
Billy, I feel like Billy, like the garage door killing would not be enough for him because he didn't really do the action.
Yeah.
But then it's like super goofy and a lot of it,
Yeah.
you know? So like
true.
that's the one that I toggle back and forth with that I'm not sure.
I think that Billy would just, okay, it's done,
Mm-hmm.
and then just, all right, move on. Where Stewart, again, is just like, he'd go over there and try to like pull her down or something,
Make it worse.
make it worse.
Yeah. And then the last one's Kenny. Billy to me is upstairs the whole time. Stu is the one that's frantically like
Yeah.
everywhere in
Yeah.
that point. To
I
me,
think that's
Stu
agree.
did it.
Oh, yeah,
That's
yeah,
Stu
yeah.
I
for
agree.
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely yeah.
Agreed.
That's
Just
true
because
because
of-
he's upstairs with
With
Neff.
the whole keys, like
Yeah, and then how
Yeah.
he tries to like climb through the vans. Like, why didn't he just go out the door? He just came in.
I know.
and
Just
chase
walk
her.
around the
He's like,
back.
I'm gonna go through this little hole.
and then
too.
he's
Yeah.
like, "No,
Yeah.
do it.
Darn it.
Darn it.
Yeah,
That was
no, that's
Stu.
a
That
good
was Stu
point.
for sure.
Yeah. Stu.
Okay.
I agree.
And then, obviously what happened to Stu
Yeah.
and Billy.
Do you guys think that Stu is dead? Dylan and Matt?
No,
Do you think he's alive
no,
in this universe?
he was still breathing
Yeah.
when the TV fell on his face until it, I don't know, tripped the breaker or whatever. I
Mhm.
Inside the TV.
don't know why it
Shot him
would
in the
happen.
head.
she
No, that was
didn't.
Billy. Billy got
Oh,
shot.
I'm sorry. I was
Yeah.
jumping.
No,
to
Stu
Billy.
got the TV on his head.
Yeah.
He's still alive because he was
Yeah.
breathing.
I like the way you think because I
He
want him
is.
to be
He's
alive.
alive. Ask Ian.
Okay.
He's alive. He's in Five Nights.
Oh,
at
Five
Freddy's.
Nights at Freddy's.
Oh.
Yeah. That's true.
Five Nights at Freddy's.
Did you have anything else, Carrie?
No, that was it.
That was
Okay.
fun. That was cool.
Fun games.
Fun games.
Fun facts. Fun games.
Facts. Fun games.
Now we can end this. I'm hungry.
Okay.
Fun games.
All right. Next up, Wheel of Death. And this is where we have to firstly replace Scream. So Carrie's doing us the honors, and she's digging in the bag. Dig.
Dig.
Yes.
Okay, ready?
So hold on. Let me get my wheel out.
Wheel of Death. Wheel of Death.
All right, Carrie, did you pick anything
Yep,
yet?
I picked out of the Frankenstein bag, and we're gonna
What do we
gonna
have?
make someone real happy. I'm very excited. This is gonna be a really good one.
Ghostbusters.
Let's hope we get it.
Damn it.
Okay.
The Haunting.
Ooh.
Oh, that's a
This
good
is a Steve F. pick.
That is a listener
Steve F.
request.
Yep. A scientist
Steve.
doing research on the paranormal invites two women to a haunted mansion from 1963.
Oh, not the one with Eddie Murphy?
You're thinking, what is that? Yeah. Is that Haunting?
That's fucking
The Haunted
Mansion.
You're talking about Dr.
Which-
Doolittle?
Shelly and I watched. I didn't watch the whole thing because I fell asleep. But we had on the new haunted mansion, and
Oh,
it's
yeah.
kind of scary.
Oh, yeah?
I was like, oh man, this is good, but it's on Ian's wheel, so I hope we get it. But
All right, so The Haunting. All right, so our 10 movies are The Exorcist Believer.
Believer.
Yeah, that's a Jeremy W. submission.
Oh, is that the new one?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then we have The Haunting, which is a Steve F. movie. Lake Mungo. Then The Wailing. Next movie, Behind the Mask, The Rise of Leslie Vernon. And then we have The Babadook. Next movie, Children of the Corn.
Hey.
Hey. And then we have The Shining,
Hey.
which is a movie you suggested,
Mhm.
Matt. So after that, we have Event Horizon. And then last movie on the wheel is Paranormal Activity. So let's go to our wheel. And you have to do the chant, Dylan. Are you ready?
What's
Yeah.
the chant? I don't know what the chant is.
You don't know what the chant...
Just repeat what
Oh,
we
spin
say.
that wheel.
Spin that wheel.
That's what
talking
that's what
about.
I said at the one with Jamie.
It's like, I don't know what
I
you're
used to
talking
yell
about.
Oh, yeah. You
Spin that wheel.
Spin that wheel.
yeah.
You remembered Matt's podcast from 4 years ago, but you don't know what we say at the end of mine.
What do you say?
We say Wheel of Death. We chant Wheel of Death.
That's what we say.
Wheel of
Wheel
Death.
of Death.
All right.
I'm not doing
You
that.
guys
I'm
ready?
not doing that. What
does
an
it say?
asshole. He said,
Don't
I'm not
ruin it.
doing that. He said, I'm not doing that.
You don't have to do it. You can be quiet if you
You can
want.
be cool.
Carrie, I need you.
I'm ready.
Ready?
Okay. Ready?
Yep.
Wheel of Death. Wheel of Death. Wheel of Death. Wheel of Death.
Oh, what is
And
it?
we have Paranormal Activity.
Paranormal Activities. Oh, that's a good one.
I believe that is a Shelley pick too.
That's a good one.
I'm 100% out on
So let's
watching that.
see.
You don't like those ones?
No, it scares
don't
me.
like
I
'em?
can't sleep.
Let's see
Yeah.
where Paranormal Activity
I
is
think
playing.
the girls watch that.
You know,
Wow.
you know it's a guy with a string pulling the blanket up.
All right, so it looks like
Has a leaf blower on.
lady.
Oh my god!
All right, so Paranormal Activity is playing. If you have Max, a subscription to Max, Hulu, it's on there. Looks like it's on Prime, but yeah, a couple different subscription places. So, but we'll double check all that and we'll share it on our socials. So just pay attention there. So, any last thoughts before we close this thing out?
Well, if you're gonna wait for Shelly, you may do a Ian episode before, because Shelly's plays until the 14th.
Okay. Regardless if it's us or an Ian episode, there will still be an
Okay,
episode
okay.
on the 10th, so it'll be fun. Okay. All right.
So yeah, if you want to check out my band,
Self-promotion. Self-promotion promotions.
Yay.
That would be good.
check us out on Facebook. That's the 727
727s.
band. 727s. Follow us. We're trying to get those numbers up, people.
Tell your friends.
Tell all your friends.
Smash that like button.
Like and subscribe.
Yep. To Facebook. I don't know how to subscribe to this Facebook page. Oh, Grandpa. All right. Next episode drops April 10th. If you listen on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, please hit the follow button and give us a rating and review if you like what we do. You can find us on Facebook and TikTok by searching Little Bracket of Horrors and on Instagram by typing at Little Bracket of Horrors. We also have merch available at tpublic.com. Just search for our name in their website search bar or pay attention to our socials for a direct link. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. I'm Derek.
I'm Carrie.
I'm Dylan, and thanks for having me.
Matt.
And we will catch you on the other side.
Let's do it again.
Okay.
I knew it.
Okay, remember the scene.
Oh, pressure.
He's like Carl Winslow.
Helicopters.
This police academy.
I thought you were
Yeah.
gonna do like "Hello, Sydney."
Oh my gosh! So we
Come
bought
on.
this because it
Yeah.
said it was
Yeah.
a ghost face
Yeah.
noise changer. Oh,
I
it
thought
is
that's what he was
not.
doing.
No,
It isn't? Try
No.
it. Derek,
Well,
try
we've
it.
tried it.
Yeah.
I'm very disappointed. Derek did not read the reviews, and he was like,
Yeah,
"Buy
it
this,"
was-
and I was
there was
like,
like
200
no.
bucks. 200 bucks.
That's
What?
terrible.
That is not that.
Please do that.
Hello, Dylan.
That's
That's a
better.
little. That's better.
So that's how I'm going to ask you the question.
No, that's how you.
No,
you
don't
gotta
do
say.
that.
Do you have a boyfriend?
What's your name? Is this my headphone? Is this my headphone right here? Is it? It
Oh,
doesn't
that's
mess with
perfect.
anybody else's, does it?
That sounds good. Everyone talk at the same time.
So, anyways,
Carrie, how
I
you
had a
doing?
gig last
Carrie,
night, and then I
say
sat
something.
there
Say
bitching
something.
around a little
Carrie,
bit, and I was
Carrie,
like,
say
"Hey,
something.
who
Carrie, will
thinks
you say
you don't
something?
own this place?"
Carrie.
Carrie.
You're say something.
What?
Ugh,
They're
What?
perfect.
I don't know. I feel like you need to go up.
Good. Do you remember when your dad played that guitar? You remember
Esteban?
that? Oh, it's so
What,
nice.
the Esteban?
Esteban.
When he was getting his stomach shocker going at the same time?
What are you doing?
He has the stomach, the ab shocker.
Oh, that's
playing
right.
a guitar.
All it's
And the tie.
Helpless, helpless, helpless. Daddy, you okay? I'm exercising.
He bought a lot of those.
Playing Esteban.
He bought a lot of those ab workouts from those.
Had the roller.
infomercials.
The roller
Yeah,
worked.
Had the little
The
tiger
roller
and then
torso.
the big roller.
Wasn't it called the Tiger Torso?
I don't know, but the roller definitely worked.
Yeah.
Hey, Carrie, what's up?
Hi.
You excited?
Carrie, are you working?
What?
Are you working?
No, I took my notes on my
She's got it on her
computer.
computer. Let's let Matt get situated. Matt, it's good to have you back.
Yeah.
Wait, is this part of the whole podcast right now? Just
Yes,
to
it's
chit-chat?
recording.
Recording.
So
There'll
Just
be
your
a
little get
there'll be
back,
dumb
get back
stuff
together,
at the end.
yeah, if there's
catch up.
if there's any funny stuff, I'll throw it on at the end from
Can I
this.
see your
And then
thing?
like, what do you want?
I just want to see your ghost face thing.
Oh, here,
Yeah, try some of it.
try some of it.
Try some of that.
Say some of the things, Matt, since you
Say
said
some of
you
the
wa-
things.
Sure.
You watched it apparently. It's just turned off.
You
It's on
watched
the.
it 15 years ago.
Yeah.
Hello, Sydney. Hello, Sydney.
Sound like Hannibal Lecter.
I know it's
Sound-
terrible. It's not even close.
A nice Chianti and some fava beans.
Okay. There's a clown on here too.
Dude, there's a bunch of dumb.
There's
Yeah,
a
go ahead.
little cute alien.
You're doing the clown voice into the clown voice.
We gotta talk. Hello, kids.
Yeah, just it,
I think the
Battery.
battery.
Everybody. Hey, everybody.
All right. How do I turn it off?
just turn it off.
Wait,
There's a switch.
demon. Hold on.
Oh,
One
it's the
more.
worst.
The demon.
It's terrible. You
7.
can't even understand it.
Ooh.
You have the mic close to the speaker, so it'll make weird noises.
Oh, that was good.
so muddy.
Yeah.
Could be fun. I don't even know what you were saying.
All right, here.
I
take
turned
this
the
thing.
AC down to 74 or something too.
74 is a good temp. So what was up with Shelly? Couldn't make it today?
She's doing the play now.
Oh, okay.
She's got a really big part in it. So they've
She's not
practiced.
Ching from Anything Goes. That was my character. Very racist.
Oh, no.
Aw.
Did you have...
Yeah, it was
Oh, okay.
Ching. There was
They-
Ching and Ling.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh gosh.
Okay. Carrie, whenever you want to do the intro.
Okay.
Everybody wants to hear you.
Especially in Idaho.
Idaho?
Idaho.
Cedar Rapids.
Cedar Rapids.
Cedar Rapids.
Cedar Falls, something, Idaho. We had 26 listens for Tammy and the T-Rex in that one city.
Oh man.
I
Oh,
don't
really?
understand. Yeah.
Is that where it
Oh,
was
that's
filmed or
awesome.
something?
No. It was filmed in California.
Like, maybe
know what
somebody have
happened.
a
Paul Walker ain't
garage
going
or-
anywhere but
I
California.
think there was just a dinosaur convention and probably just like, hey, everyone go back to your hotel room and listen to this.
Oh, they should sell that at Dino World.
What do you mean? Tammy
Yeah.
and the
A
T-Rex?
VHS.
VHS copies of Tammy and the T-Rex?
That'd be good. That'd be
Every
good.
single dinosaur movie.
Do we all sound good? Carrie,
I think so. Yeah.
everybody's pretty.
Check one.
Maybe Matt doesn't know how to put headphones on.
I do.
Clean out your ears.
Dummy.
I bought one of those things that have the cameras for you to clean your ears out.
Oh, after Daniel got one of his buds stuck in his ear, supposedly,
Yep.
went to the emergency room for it.
Yep. It would have really helped you guys that time.
I was thinking, I was like,
Okay.
I see something black, but I'm not gonna mess with it. It's
Yeah.
pretty far in there.
There
Alright,
is
that's
a
fine.
place in North Ontario. Sorry.
Is that better, Matt?
That's
Did
Neil
you plug
Young.
him in?
That's Neil Young for you.
Nobody
Yeah.
likes Neil Young.
Shut your fucking face.
Okay.
Everybody loves Neil Young.
No, they
Carrie,
don't.
whenever you're ready, just cut these dicks off.
What?
I always think Neil Young is the same. What's that karate guy? David.
What?
David
Carradine?
Yeah,
Carradine?
I think
They're totally different people, but okay. Because you wore a hat.
yeah, that's it.
It's like everyone that has a beard looks the same.
Yeah. they all
Oh, you
like,
look like Chris
you know,
Stapleton.
You look like
Does
Cat
I have
Stevens.
a fucking beard?
You look like Cat Stevens. now.
Yeah, that guy. All right. Shut up,
Alright,
Dylan.
you guys ready?
I
Yeah.
think so.
So, yeah.
I
Great.
just can't picture her as Sydney. I'm really glad
Yeah.
that it didn't end up that way. But
Yeah, I agree. All right. You ready to move on into Voices
Oh.
from Beyond? I'm going to do that again because you
Sorry.
interrupted me.
Oh,
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yes.
you have- Just let me know when you're
Yes,
ready.
Queen.
Settle down.
Yes.
Settle down,
Yes.
Jeremy Queen.
Yes.
Oh, I'm ready. Go ahead.
Okay. All right. Next
Go ahead.
up.
I'm ready.
Go ahead, Derek.
I'm
Thanks,
ready.
Dylan.
Like, no problem.
All
Are
right.
you
Go
ready
ahead.
to do it?
Ready.
It's going to be here all day.
Yep.
All
We-
day.
And begin.
We are at an hour.
And begin.
Wait. Not
We're at
cut.
an hour and 42
Ready?
minutes.
Go.
I have a lot of extra stuff I want to talk about.
Lots
I know.
of
Ready
stuff.
and
I know.
begin.
Lots of stuff.
Okay.
And
lot of
begin. How many
stuff.
pits in a pair?
Next up.
Sir, you have to be faster.
You got to be quick. What?
All right.
Who am
Next
I? Why
up.
am I here? Remember that?
Next up.
Not gonna that.
French fried potatoes.
Sure do like them French
This is what happens when you give assholes microphones
back
and they
there?
hear
I already-
themselves talk for
I
once.
already told you.
Okay. All right.
I can hear myself pretty good.
No, I
Thanks.
I see dead people.
Dead people. Red rum.
Okay.
That's meta.
All right.
All right. Seriously, we got to do this.
All right, go.
All right. Voices. Or sorry.
Oh, now look, you can't get a shot.
All right, guys. All
Figure it
right.
out, Derek.
Here we go. Next up,